Okay, everybody, welcome to the City of Sweetwater, a regular commission meeting. Meeting date, Monday, April 4th, 2016, at 8 p.m. in Commission Chambers, 500 Southwest 109 Avenue. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Clerk will note the absence of Mayor Lopez and Commission President Diaz.
Okay, everybody stand please for the Pledge of Allegiance and stay up for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Lord, please make us make wise decisions up here. Please take care of our elderly, the residents of the city of Sweetwater, the mayor, the commissioners that are sick and their parents. Please take care of our military abroad and at home that provide us with freedom, and help our residents to prosper and to have a good future. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Okay. Item 4, a report on legislation actions at the recently concluded legislation session. We'd like to welcome Representative Carlos Trujillo. How you doing, sir? Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for having me. I think, is this on? We had a very interesting legislative session. As you guys are well aware, we were able to get significant amounts of money in the budget for water projects. Unfortunately, the governor decided to veto those projects, so the city won't be seeing them. But I guess on a more lighter note, we passed a balanced budget as we're required to do. It was a very conservative budget. We didn't raise taxes. And overall, from a Dade County perspective, FIU did very well. We received money for the 3rd District Court of Appeals. And as far as a bunch of other local projects that the underlying in Miami, which is a big deal, and a lot of parks and grants money that I'm sure will be enjoyed by people across the state.
May I,
Thank
Mr.
you,
President?
thank you. Yes.
Please, Mr. Trujillo, explain in Spanish for my people in the city.
Okay.
Explain.
Bueno, primero muchas gracias por tenerme aquí en la reunión del comisionado. Como saben ustedes, la sesión legislativa terminó la segunda semana de marzo, el 12 de marzo. Después de la sesión legislativa nosotros pudimos poner en el presupuesto casi $2 millones. Desafortunadamente, al final el gobernador decidió vetar el dinero que pusimos. La ciudad de Sweetwater, los 2 millones, casi eran $2 millones que iban a recibir para fondos de proyectos de agua, no lo van a recibir. Las buenas noticias es que el condado de Miami, la verdad es que recibió bastante dinero. FIU recibió casi $15 millones. La corte, la tercera corte de apelación recibió $7 millones. El Underline, que es un parque lineal abajo del Metro Rail, recibieron significantes cantidades de dinero. Pasamos el presupuesto, que era un presupuesto bastante conservador, y a la misma vez no aumentamos taxes y casi cortamos $1,000 millones en impuestos sobre el estado de la Florida. Fue una sesión bastante positiva. Desafortunadamente, la cantidad de Sweetwater que habíamos luchado no lo recibieron. Otra cosa es que la semana pasada tuve también el honor de estar en lo que le dicen el Libre Initiative, que la ciudad de Sweetwater fue bastante generosa en donar el tiempo de la Mascanosa, y en eso son personas que se quieren hacer ciudadanos, que llegan ahí al centro Mascanosa, les dan toda la educación. Robert estaba allí presente como administrador de la ciudad, y yo creo que 50, 60 personas se hicieron ciudadanos ese día, o empezaron el proceso de ser ciudadanos. Eso fue mucho gracias por la ciudad de Sweetwater en donar el tiempo, y también poner a Robert ahí para ayudar en ese proyecto, en esa obra.
Representante, usted también creo que pudieron coger los dineros que nos hacían falta para el comedor. Eso va a seguir.
Eso sí va a
Eso
seguir.
siempre es una pregunta que tienen las personas.
Sí, recibimos dinero para los comedores, que eso sí va a seguir. Los comedores aquí en Sweetwater y por el resto del estado. Yo sé que unos comisionados fueron a Tallahassee a visitarme y se lo agradezco. También el alcalde pasó también por Tallahassee, y siempre las presencias de ustedes ayudan en recibir los fondos para estos proyectos, y a la misma vez en que la gente sepa quién es Sweetwater y por qué lo necesitan.
May I, President?
Sure.
El dinero de comida que se reparte a las personas mayores, no 200, 300 habas, que por año Isolina y yo le ayudaba, repartíamos. ¿Ese dinero viene de ustedes?
Bueno, hay varios, hay dinero que viene directo al Mascanosa Center. Yo no sé de cuál proyecto específico usted, comisionado Vaso, estás hablando.
Comisionada, please.
No, él está hablando del farm share.
Oh, sí, el Farm Share viene del Estado, sí. El Farm Share viene del Estado, eso recibieron casi 12 o 14 millones de dólares. Ese programa, pasaron 2 años que el Estado no le dio dinero. Ese programa va a seguir no solo yendo hacia adelante, pero también le aumentaron la cantidad de dinero que va a recibir.
¿Me hay?
Yes, sir.
No debo seguir hablando, porque creo que la comisionada tiene algo preparado para eso. La repartición de 200 o 300 habas que antes hacíamos nosotros fueron suspendidas. Mr. Mayor, que es Strong Mayor, en su momento dado, la comisionada hablará sobre eso.
Exacto, sí. Al final, cuando me toque, ahora no creo que es el momento.
Ok, pero eso, yo creo que eso es algo interno aquí en
Sí,
Sweetwater, no
sí,
tiene
sí,
que ver
sí.
con el Estado.
Strong Mayor.
Ok, bueno, muchas gracias por darme la
Gracias a
oportunidad de
ustedes.
presentar.
Gracias por su esfuerzo. Okay, and I'd also like to mention that we have Mr. Will Macria from Senator Anita Flores' office. Welcome. Appreciate you being here today.
I don't have any words. She's not
Okay.
here. Not as eloquent as she is.
Thank you so much. And we have Olga Hernandez from Commissioner Pepe Diaz, District 12 office. Thank you again for coming. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna-
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I believe that as part of the initial presentation by Representative Trujillo, you also have our lobbying team in
Oh, Mr.
Tallahassee
Councilwoman?
to add to that presentation.
May I, Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
Fausto Gomez, very important people from my city.
Yes, sir.
It, for many, many years, thank you for coming my city. I
Commissioner,
appreciate your
thank you.
presence.
Mr. Vice President, Commissioners, Fausto Gomez, along with my partner Manny Reyes. And before I begin my brief remarks, let me publicly thank Representative Trujillo and Senator Flores. Without their leadership in Tallahassee, the accomplishments for the city of Sweetwater would not have happened. And let me also say, as Mr. McCray could attest, I spoke to Senator Flores. She wants to come before you. She's not here today. She's out of town, but she asked that at the next meeting that you put her on the schedule because she wants to come before you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And briefly, Mr. Mayor, and following the remarks by Representative Trujillo, this was actually a very good legislative year. There was peace between the House, there was peace between the Senate. Where there was not peace was the legislature with the governor. Because essentially the governor's priorities were not met. Enterprise Florida was not funded, the Secretary of the Department of Health was not confirmed. His agreement with the Seminole Tribe was not impacted, or actually was not implemented. And his tax package, which was $1 billion, was reduced, curtailed significantly. Based on those facts, it was anticipated that there would be a significant number of legislative vetoes. And although he vetoed less than what was anticipated, notwithstanding that the vetoes were $256 million. Specifically, Representative Trujillo and Senator Flores put in 2 water projects for the city of Sweetwater. One for $200,000 and the other one for $186,000. Those were part of the $60 million statewide that were for water projects statewide. The governor vetoed $29.4 million of the $60 million that the legislature allocated for water projects in cities from Pensacola to Key West. So he vetoed half of the legislative allocation for municipalities for water projects. In addition to that, Mr. Vice President, the legislature funded $638,000 to continue the senior center here in the city of Sweetwater. And as you know, in addition to those $638,000, the Alliance for Aging with federal dollars, Older Americans Act, and others funds an additional $200 and some odd thousand. So your senior program in total is $800,000. And that is saved and that is secure. In addition to that, again, Representative Trujillo, Senator Flores, and others helped preserve the money that you currently have in your pocket. You currently have in your pocket, the city does, for the communication services tax. You currently receive from the CST, $360,000, actually $360,000. There was a legislative proposal in the Senate to cut the funding that cities received for communication services tax, and that would essentially extracted money from this city as well as every city around the state of Florida that you currently receive from communication services tax. As well as you currently receive $45,000 for the local business tax. And again, there was a proposal to cut the amount cities received from local businesses tax, which have impacted you at a level of $45,000. So it's not only the money that was received, allocated, and again, we need to thank Representative Trujillo and Senator Flores, but it's also the money that the city currently receives that was preserved. Because it's both what you can obtain and what you make sure that you can keep.
Right.
So those two things are absolutely important. And finally, Mr. Vice President, let me just highlight a couple of quick issues that I think are policy issues that are of import to you. One is election dates. There was a proposal in the Florida House of Representatives to change the election dates for municipal officers statewide to basically put them in the same as the presidential or the elections in November. That proposal did not pass, so that you maintain your election dates as well as every city in Florida maintains their election dates. One of the things that also passed, that did not pass, one of the things that passed is clarifying a constitutional amendment for low-income seniors for property tax relief. As you know, there was a constitutional amendment, 4 or 5 years ago, that basically granted property tax relief for low-income seniors. Now, this is to clarify that if the value of the property increases over these 4 or 5 years beyond the $250,000, that the senior would not be penalized because of the value of the property increase. That passed, and I know is of significant import to you because you've always had issues regarding to senior citizens. And the final thing that I wanted to raise to your attention, and there's a memorandum, I believe, in each of your packages detailing issues, is medical cannabis. One of the things that you know passed is the medical marijuana bill, and crucially important is that we were able to preserve, all of us working together, were able to preserve the ability of cities, local governments, to regulate the dispensaries within your city. So therefore, you don't have a dispensary on every corner. You basically are able to regulate the amount of dispensaries and how do you want to have them in your city, or if you don't want them in your city, and what are the hours and how do they need to operate. And that's very important because that's a quality of life issue for the city of Sweetwater. And with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions that any of you may have.
Through the chair.
Sir?
Mr. Gomez,
Yes, sir.
the governor said why he vetoed almost half the allocation for the water projects, and specifically the one for the city of Sweetwater.
He did not. Let me give you sort of some examples. We represent, Manny and I represent 11 other cities. Okay? So he vetoed some of the water projects in other cities. He did not veto some of the other projects in water cities. Let me give you a specific example. City of Coral Gables. Last year, we obtained resources, funding from Tallahassee for a specific water project, which he vetoed. Okay? This year, exactly the same project, exactly the same amount of money, for exactly the same purpose, he did not veto. Representative Trujillo talked about the underline, which was last year, the underline was funded at $1 million. This year, the underline is funded at $2 million. The governor vetoed the underline last year, he did not veto it this year. So it's frankly a schizophrenic veto process. And with all due respect, and that veto process is what led the legislature having the issues with the governor this year, where his priorities essentially were not successful. And it frankly comes down to that process where he wields the veto pen without prior notice to, for example, to you, that we have these projects and I'm looking at perhaps vetoing them or not vetoing them. What is the efficacy of these projects? Why do you need them? You know, talk to me about them. It's just basically, there's no input, and suddenly a list comes out and you're either on the list or you're not on the list. And it's unfortunate, but that is the way it is right now in the governor's veto pen.
Thank you for your report.
And before I leave, Commissioner, Mr. Vice President, I wanted to raise an issue. We have been working for the city now for, last year was our first year, and this year as well, this legislative session. We worked on a one-year contract, our agreement. We're working out of agreement right now, notwithstanding that we have been cooperating and been in constant contact with city officials who have urged us to continue representing the city and all its needs. And I wanted to bring that to your attention, so hopefully that can be addressed.
Okay, hold on a minute, let me, Mr. Ventura, he was here,
He was here.
Ralph? Mr. Ventura, did you hear what he was saying about, he's been trying to see about, we want him to continue doing their work, but they haven't been paid apparently, their services?
I think they're out of contract at this stage.
Okay, and why haven't we paid them?
They're out of contract at this stage.
Okay, so, have you been paid for all the services up to?
Last year, we're still owed 2 months, and this year, because we're out of contract, notwithstanding that we have been urged by city officials to continue representing you, we have not been paid this year at all.
Can we see about getting them the two that we own from last year?
I'll see about that first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you. We'll do our best to see what we can do, and if maybe the mayor and Ralph can come up with, go ahead and start a new contract,
Right.
if that's what everybody wishes.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it. Thank you for
Bye
your
now.
help.
Thank you.
Give me a few minutes.
Huh? We're gonna keep going though here. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, item 5, presentation of Employee of the Month award. Do we have any Employee of the Month?
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Employee of the Month?
Yes.
Whoa.
I'm up and I missed my cue. Excuse me. Thank you.
That's what it says.
The employee of the month this month is Maite Alvarez. As some of you may be aware, Sonia, her coworker, is out pregnant. She's on maternity leave. And Maite has been handling the matter, the senior center, all on her own. And according to Robert, has been doing a heroic effort in that regard. So
Awesome.
this month it's Maite Alvarez.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Presentation of Officer of the Month.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I have 2 presentations that I'm very happy to award tonight. One of them is the Officer of the Month, and the other one is an award for Administrative Excellence. The first officer I'd like to call up is hold on one second. Officer Yosvani Garciga. Officer Garciga has been with the department for a number of years in different capacities. Most recently, Officer Garciga was injured and was in a limited duty capacity. And he stepped up to the plate, called me, says, I can't stay home, I want to come back to work. He had gone above and beyond what anyone could expect of somebody who's been injured. He has stepped up to the plate and has been an asset to our background investigative unit to the extent that I would want to say that he got the experience of a seasoned investigator. He has really, really shown a lot of hard work. He's put in relentless hours. And there's nothing else I can say. He's probably one of the best officers we have, and I want to commend him. And as such, he's Officer of the Month for March 2016.
All right,
Mr.
congratulations.
President, Mr. President, may I? Mr. Chief,
Yes, sir.
and different time I say, when they have employee of the month, maintenance, maintenance. By one check for $50. You have in the record. Resolution. One check for $50. I don't know why it's mayor or why me. I don't know what he say. Where Ventura? Mr. Ventura, please.
The U.S. saving bond.
I'll take him to lunch numerous times.
It's gonna cost you more than 50.
For many years I passed resolution.
Yes, sir.
When the employment $50. Please. I don't know why.
I'll make sure.
I
of that.
say every time, I don't know.
If I can't get
You
on the
represent
50
the mayor in this
if
moment.
I cannot get on the $50, I will take him to lunch myself at Mickey D's. Okay.
Por favor.
The next officer we're calling is for administrative excellence. I want to bring up Lieutenant Marcos Villanueva. Marcos has had his up and down here, but I'll tell you what, he has stepped up to the plate and has been an excellent administrator, has helped me enormously through the process of putting all the CFA requirements together, translating what I wrote and putting them to basically conform to the City of Sweetwater Police Department. And with his help, we have successfully submitted all of the CFA requirements in the process of getting accredited. Along with many other things that he has done, I want to commend him and present him with the Administrative Excellence Award.
Thank you. I know it's a bit out of line, but I'd like to say a word with your permission.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Chief. I know I have a habit of speaking out of turn, and everybody here knows me on a personal basis. Carmen and I were just talking today. Her and I started in the City of Sweetwater many years ago. I was 18 years old. And like I said, we all know each other on a personal basis. I know that when this administration came in, I wasn't supposed to like them. Everybody here knows I have no hair on my tongue. So if you don't know me, get ready. I will tell you, and again, forgive me, I'll sign my own reprimand. I will tell you that the chief has been nothing but a gentleman to me. The former Deputy Chief Roque was nothing but a gentleman to me. Assistant Chief Abeyo was nothing but a gentleman to me. Major Carmona, nothing but a gentleman. The chief, for lack of a better word, throws a lot on me. I will tell you that. But where I'm impressed by him, when we laid off our guys, and that kind of hits home, so I'm going to try and get through this. When we laid off our guys, without talking about politics, he made sure that all of our officers got off-duty jobs. Forgive me, Commissioner, just let me run on for a little minute.
Please.
Don't worry about it.
Tonight.
Don't worry about that.
Tonight.
He made sure that all of our officers got off-duty jobs, and I appreciate that. I would sign up for off-duties, and I'll say it to anybody, I gave the guys that got laid off-duty jobs so they can pay for their rent, their mortgages. Today, this man sits here right here. He almost died for our city. I love him very much. So he was having an issue with payroll, something simple that the chief did not have to get involved in. Taking his administrative hours, and the chief made it a point to make sure not only that he keeps his administrative hours, but that we pay him. And that I appreciate. So I thank you, Chief. I thank your command staff. Commissioners, I know a lot happens up here, and sometimes you don't get proper information. I understand politics more than anybody. Everybody here knows that. But thank you, Chief, and thank you to your administrative staff. Thank you.
Want to take a little picture?
Hang on.
Yes, Mita de Perales basket.
Como Mirta de Perales.
Un basket.
Are you guys looking at my wrinkle in the back of my head?
Yes. This way, Chief. Now, there you go. Thank you, guys.
Marcus, look over here, Chief. Look over here real quick. Ya la vi.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Commissioner. Thank you for trying to cut me off.
Get used to it.
Te quiero con pelo la próxima vez.
I love you.
Ese lo perdió hace rato.
Rubio. Okay, item 7, reports of officers, boards, and committee. We have none. Okay, 8, additions and deletions to the agenda. What additions do we have here?
Mr. Vice President, you have the addition of items M, N, O, O alternate, P, P alternate, Q, and Q alternate to the agenda.
Okay, so we have, the ones that the city attorney just said. And I'd like to delete item J from staff items. That's the, I think we can do that in a budget workshop. Something we can do with the mayor. So, all in favor of additions and deletions, say aye.
Aye.
Wait, do I have a motion first?
Second.
Okay, by Barreto and second by Commissioner Duazo. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 9, petitions, communications, and remonstrances.
How about Mr. President?
May I,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Mr. President, may I?
Item G. Hold on a minute.
No, the regular agenda, item G.
He's the one that was deleted.
He's not here.
That's okay.
That's okay?
May I, Mr.
Sometimes Ralph
President?
gives for him. Yes, sir.
Mr. Officer Duarte.
Sí. He's
You
coming
have,
up
He's
right
on
now.
you have, okay, I'm sorry.
He's on the list.
Okay, I have Mr. Rafael Duarte.
Good evening.
Si puede dar el nombre y la
Yeah.
dirección.
Rafael Duarte, well, Officer Rafael Duarte, 500 South Forest, 109 Avenue. You need my phone number too? No? Okay. Good evening, Honorable Commissioners. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Officer Rafael Duarte, ID 217. I started with the City of Sweetwater Police Department back in August 2011 as a reserve police officer. I became a full-time employee or full-time officer with the police department in June 17, 2013. I stand before you today and pray you will do the right thing by me how I have done the right thing by the city, okay, in my years of service. On March 19, 2015, I injured my left foot on duty, having to undergo 2 procedures on my big toe, and I still, to today's date, am experiencing issues with that injury. I then returned to work, and on August 17, 2015, I experienced a severe accident while on the job. I suffered a traumatic brain injury and cervical spine injuries, which is causing me to have, I don't feel my hands and I have numbness on my arms. Okay. And also numbness in my face. During my years of service with the police department, I developed high blood pressure and I'm currently under medication and management. Because of the August 17, 2015 accident, I'm kept on a restriction where I can't drive. I have to be sitting and laying down 100% of the time. Okay. I returned to work, or I tried to return to work for about, a few weeks, 2-3 weeks, and I wasn't doing too good, so I'm back to not working. And back to my restriction where I can't drive and I have to be sitting and laying 100% of the time. I ask for your assistance as I am not physically fit for duty, and I would like to request to be granted the in-line of duty disability, as my accidents on the job no longer allow me to be fit for duty. And I just ask for your assistance to help me because I can no longer do the job.
Okay, Mr.
May
Attorney, what are our options here?
May I? I know.
Okay, please.
Mr. Vice President, I think that the issue at hand here is it's one where there is no process in the city at this point. There's no established process or procedure to deal with this particular issue. I will like to perhaps have the HR manager or somebody from the administration kind of address whether there is some kind of proposed process or what are the options that could be followed to go ahead and deal with Officer Duarte. Ultimately, you need to have procedures in place to deal with this type of issue. Right now, there are none.
May I have question.
No.
I have the floor.
Go ahead, sir.
John Rivera, PBA, I have question for you, please. Thank you for coming to city. It's very important for the police department.
Yes,
For all the police department. You see, Mr. Duarte, you agree?
I do, and honorable council folks and Mr. President, you know, as Americans, we get indignant when America doesn't take care of our military, when our military takes care of us. These men and women are your soldiers, and it makes no difference whether they lose a limb or get hurt in a way that they can no longer work. They have a responsibility to keep the city safe. The city has a responsibility to keep them safe. And so we certainly are here tonight in support of the officer. We believe that any officer who justly and medically has proven incapable of performing their jobs as a direct result of being injured in the line of duty should get all of the benefits, regardless of whether you have a policy or not. I thank you.
I have another question. Chief,
Yes, sir.
you approve everything petition, Mr. Duarte?
Well, I am 100% in favor of the officer as far as him getting whatever benefits he is deemed deserved. I believe he is a good officer. I've been working with him in my capacity to where I can as far as his time banks are concerned, and you can ask him. I've been attentive to all his needs. But as far as the inline disability declaration is outside the scope of my ability to assess. That's more of an ER function or an HR function. I've spoken in brief with the city attorney and done my own research on my own as of today, because I found out the issue today after conversing with the city
I
attorney.
have another question.
The process, I agree with Guillermo, there is a lacking of a process here, only because this is probably the first time this has ever happened here. Not because it's not or should not be in place, it's just it's never happened, it's an anomaly. I think that we should work towards a process to give him his due right and his due benefits. He was injured in the line of duty. He is a good officer. He came in, he tried to come back to work. He sat with me. He raised his concerns about not feeling his hands. I raised the concern about allowing him to drive, because if you cannot feel your hands and you don't feel confident that you can control your mobile mechanisms, I do him a disservice by putting him behind a car. So initially that was my decision not to allow him to come and drive. Shortly thereafter, he went back to his doctor, and the doctor, I guess, reevaluated the situation, reopened the workman's comp case, which is the right thing to do. So in this case, I strongly feel that there is a need to create the process hastily, in a matter of quickness. I'd be more than happy to work with the administration and with HR to mirror other processes somewhere else in the county that we can use to streamline it for him. And in the meantime, I'll continue to work with him in his capacity to make sure that he gets paid and gets all the support that he needs from us.
I have another question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cuadra,
Yes, Commissioner.
what is solution for Mr. Duarte? And everything, not half an hour, no, everything.
Commissioner, I think at this point that what you're hearing is that everyone is in line in trying to make sure that we take care of the needs of Officer Duarte and to make sure that he obtains all the benefits that he rates. At this point, we're probably going to have to huddle up and see how we can go ahead and do it. I think the administration is hearing from you, and I think you've heard from at least one representative of the administration that something has to be done quick, so we can address his needs.
Let me question. Is solution Mr. Mayor or solution Commissioner?
At this point, it's an administrative matter, but what I can tell you is definitely the commission could also, from a policy perspective, get involved in establishing a consistent process for any inline disability, whether it's a police officer or any other employee that is injured in the line of duty. I think at the present time, what you need to do is basically make sure that that Officer Duarte's issue is handled in a timely manner. At the same time that you're looking at an across the board process.
Okay. This is my opinion. This is maybe solution for the council. Next month, put in the meeting, I present. For everything, a young man working for my city, this is impossible. You know, he's married. Why in this moment? Please, It's possible that I don't know what opinion of the commissioner that I present for next month.
I hear,
Everything,
I hear you loud and clear, Commissioner, and hopefully will be handled before that's even necessary. But I hear you loud and clear.
thank you.
I found out about this today. I knew that Officer Duarte wanted to speak to the commission very late last week, but I did not know the subject of it because it was on petitions and remonstrances. It was an identified topic. I learned about the subject today around 3 or 4 o'clock. I asked Joanna to attend at that time because obviously this is something that might, she might be able to shed some light on. But to my understanding, he has not been given MMI, maximum medical improvement, yet by.
He's had several workers' comp cases throughout since the beginning of March of last year. It's been certain injuries. The latest doctor's notice that I have, he is 100% sitting and no driving restriction. He's in the process of getting treatment, so it's complicated.
Right, but has he been given maximum medical improvement? Has he been rated as having reached maximum medical improvement?
Not really.
I really don't want to get into the particulars of his situation because really that does affect HIPAA. But there's a concept called maximum medical improvement, and I believe Council nodding his head at this point. Maximum medical improvement means you suffered any sort of injury, you were in a car crash, you fell down the stairs, you get treated. Whatever it is, whatever the legal process is, insurance companies have a way of determining when you've reached MMI, maximum medical improvement. And what that means is no matter what happens, you're not going to get any better at a certain point. I had a shoulder injury and I reached maximum medical improvement 20 years ago. It still hurts and it's never going to get any better. Now, whatever disability he may be entitled to is a factor of the union contract. But that would not kick in until he has reached maximum medical improvement as determined, I believe, by our workers' compensation carrier. And at this stage, he's still being treated under that under that process. All parties are correct. There is no procedure in line right now for this type of disability. I was informed of that this afternoon, speaking with Joanna and speaking with the chief. I guess partly because this has never really arisen.
Right.
Now, just as an aside, I've taken the steps so far. The police department has created standard operating procedures. I'm in the process now of establishing standard operating procedures for the building department. As we go department by department, we will implement standard operating procedures that will then be placed into one larger binder and be essentially administrative rules of the city. But these are step-by-step processes that you have to work on. What I'll do is I'll bump HR to higher level at this point and see if we can get at least some sort of standard operating procedures for inline disability within the next week or two.
Or short-term disability,
Or
maybe.
short-term disability, exactly.
To handle it until everything else is decided.
Nobody wants to deny this
better
gentleman
get on
any
that.
benefits that he's entitled to. But the reality is that at least as far as Mayor Lopez and myself and Joanna and the chief go, we were made aware of this dialogue today at around
Okay.
4 o'clock. We will work on it. You have my word that we will work on it. We will work on it expeditiously to establish some sort of process and to streamline the process.
Okay, Mr. Rivera, you want to say something?
I appreciate everybody's comments, and they're positive, and certainly even Mr. Venturi. Certainly, you have to be careful of HIPAA, and I'm talking to you as a friend of the commission. You have to be careful of HIPAA. You cannot be doctors. You cannot be talking about his specific conditions, or anyone's for that matter. The other thing that I would like to caution you, imagine somebody commits an act, but there's no law on the books to deal with that act. Then the legislative body in Tallahassee creates a law. Then we go back and try to charge the person when there was no law for a crime. You have the same situation here. If you have no policy, you cannot now create a policy and then bring him behind the policy. if you have no policy, you have to be very, very careful. Because if you try to have him adhere to a policy that doesn't exist, and now you're going to create a policy after his injury, you could create yourself a very, very difficult situation for the city, and I wouldn't want to see that. So I appreciate it,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for the, for the opportunity. Thank you.
Through the chair, Mr. Rivera, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. I just heard about this issue
Correct.
10 minutes ago. I am not a doctor, I'm not an attorney, and I am not an officer, I am not a union rep. My question to you is there any process in your contract? I assume that he's a member of the union since you're here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any process in your union contract to address this particular issue?
In this particular city, I am not aware of one. In other cities, we have. And so when there isn't one, or the absence, and I got to tell you, I'm not a lawyer, but as you well know, we have about 30 lawyers that work directly for me. So I listen a lot. In the absence of something, you must not create an obstacle when there is none to begin with. And I defer to your city attorney, who is much smarter than I am, but I say that as a friend even more than his representative. So proceed carefully, and
Thank you.
please, thank you.
Commissioner.
Yes.
I understand Mr. Rivera's concern and where it lies. The fact is, we're not going to be looking, as far as I'm concerned. I will do everything within my ability to make sure that the process is not restrictive or a hindrance to the officer. I think that Mr. Rivera makes very, very good points as far as being very careful on how you tread these waters by making the process over-restricted that are targeted toward an individual. So I will be involved in the process, and I'll be sure that he gets a fair process and not an unjustly hardship or hard process that will make him suffer any longer. Our goal is to help him. It has been from the beginning, at least from my perspective. I found out today about this issue. I was in contact with him thinking it was another issue, and I dealt with that one. Had I known, I would gladly work with him. He's a great kid, and I really feel bad that he had the injuries that he's gotten. So rest assured that I will be involved in this process along all the way across the board until he gets his due benefits.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Quadra?
The only thing I want to add, Mr. Vice President, is simply that a lot of the facts surrounding this particular issue basically just came up. And I myself don't have all the necessary facts relative to where this declaration of this issue really is. But we'll go ahead and like I mentioned before, we'll huddle up and make sure that we do the right thing all around.
Sir?
Yeah, thank you for hearing me once again. In response to Mr. Ventura, I don't have to be MMI to receive in line of duty disability. Because even though I receive in line of duty disability, I continue receiving workman's compensation benefits because they're going to continue treating me for what's wrong with me, okay? In line of duty disability is basically that I'm not fit for duty, which is what I'm at right now. I can't drive a car. I have to be laying down and sitting down 100% of the time. I don't feel my hands. My back hurts, you know?
Okay. Everybody's with you, and we all want your speedy recovery if possible, and to help you to get your disability.
I have a copy of both articles that pertain to the NI disability, Article 27 and 24. And yes, it's true, there are no set guidelines that is step procedural, because this has never happened in our city. But nonetheless, I mean, his workers' comp files are yay thick. It's been many injuries over injuries. He's definitely being treated, and I think we definitely need to move forward to find a solution to this. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Everybody's gonna be working on it quickly. Commissioner?
How long before we know what we can do or to speed the process?
Well, I can tell you right now, Commissioner, is that I plan to huddle up, as I mentioned before, with the relevant folks by tomorrow morning. So we'll get on this right away.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Angie Fernandez? Want to speak from the State Attorney's Office?
Hi, good evening. Thank you
how are
so
you?
much for allowing me to speak. As you know, our office, the state attorney has offered our rep, which is me, I'm your rep, community outreach rep, to come to Sweetwater, and I've been coming for the last 3 years at different locations. And for the last 6-7 months, I have been allocated to the Jorge Macanosa building in the afternoon, the same schedule that I had prior when I was in City Hall. Unfortunately, we haven't had the flow of people that we really want. Because I'm only one person and I have a lot of municipalities, so my priority is to take care of Sweetwater. So speaking with the mayor and your PR person, I was able to ask him if they could change my dates to Mondays, and I'm there Monday, the first Monday of the month, from 8:30 to 12. And the reason for the logistic change and the time is because there's more flow of individuals coming in for various things, and I'm trying to find a way to get the word out. We Twitter, we announce it on our calendar, but I want to make sure that the residents of Sweetwater can take this advantage of our services that are here at Sweetwater instead of going to downtown or to child support building or to our building. So I brought a little flyer for you guys just to have. It's just the one that I'm gonna place. But mainly what I wanted to do is if there's some way that the commissioners, as their communities, are aware that I'm there from 8:30 to 12, the first Monday. And I made it easy because it's the same day you guys meet at night. So if there's any concerns, if I hear of anything, I'll be more than happy to share with you guys as well.
Right, maybe we can get it on the TV, maybe the mayor can get you put on the TV or.
Well, whatever.
ad.
I mean, what I want to do is, I don't want to lose my time here. I don't want them to
Right.
put me somewhere else.
Right.
Because I think, this is such a central area. Right now, I have other cities that I go to. I go to Doral. So if sometimes somebody from the community can't meet me here on a Monday, say now Monday mornings, I would tell them, okay, I'm in Doral the second Wednesday in the morning. So, I'm doing that to help the people living anything west
Right.
of the Palmetto. And we have a lot of services. And sometimes, even if we can help them, one of the priorities that the state attorney has had is that, we have other resource partners. So we try to allocate them to those resources. And that's happened a lot more than providing our services. As you know, we do seal and expungement, we do the child support, and if they've been a victim of any case, of any crime, if they want to follow up on their case, things like that, that we handle. And, the office that they've placed me now at Jorge Macanosa is very comfortable, and it has a private area as well.
Perfect.
Do I need to say in Spanish?
If you'd like to.
No, that's up to you.
Yeah.
It's your- Okay. Buenas tardes, buenas noches. Yo soy Angie Fernández de la Oficina de Fiscalía del Departamento Comunitario, y como ustedes saben, la fiscal había puesto un horario para que yo viniera a la comunidad a servir a sus residentes. Estaba en la ciudad, aquí en este edificio, como por 3 años, y me cambiaron hace 9 meses para Jorge Macanosa por las tardes, igual que el mismo horario, pero parece que no había tanto flujo de personas como había antes aquí. Entonces yo sugerí que me pusieran un lunes o un martes por la mañana, y me dieron el lunes, y creo que viene perfecto porque es el mismo lunes que ustedes se encuentran por las noches. So, la comunidad está más activa y saben el horario de ustedes. So, quiero ver si me pueden ayudar para que los residentes suyos sepan que yo estoy ahí para servirle cualquier servicio la fiscal tiene, como el sellar, eliminar récords de arresto, la alimentación de los niños, si se ha sido víctima de un caso. Hemos ayudado muchísimo, pero muchas veces también vienen con otras preguntas que nosotros no directamente podemos ayudar, pero tenemos muchos partners, servicios que hemos establecido comunicación, y por lo menos podemos guiar a dónde ir. Y así, tú sabes, es un lugar muy cómodo porque tengo a las personas del centro del Sweetwater, y también si tienen que venir de otro lugar. So, estamos aquí disponibles para cualquier cosa.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Agradecemos
Thank
tu
you
ayuda.
for everything. And come a Katy Fernando Rondo. I love you.
We'll probably put some of these down in the lobby, we'll make copies maybe.
Yeah, we'll make copies.
Oh, you have?
Van a ponerlo en la televisión, chicos.
Sometimes you guys are in the community.
Great,
so-
thank you.
Presidente, van a poner en la televisión. Thank you.
Thank you.
used to be,
Commissioner, just real quick, chime in on her issue here. What we're doing is, Manny's our new NRO that's working for the city now. So he's gonna be contacting her to establish a network and make sure that she gets all the assistance she needs, and get the outreach out to the community. So we'll be more than happy to participate with flyers, whatever it is that it takes to get the message out there. So Manny will be reaching out to her and establishing a network with her.
Can I kind of cut in?
Sure.
Maddie's been great.
Oh, he already called you?
Yeah, we've been working together.
Okay, great.
So,
Good.
I'm assuming it's the same Manny that
Yes,
I know.
it is. Yes, it is.
We're doing a lot of stuff together, even from last year, because we're actually having an activity here in Sweetwater Towers on Saturday. So we've been working together, but I just want to make sure that everybody is kind of like in par, so they can promote, our office hours, so, they don't put me somewhere else.
No, we
I'm
want you
gonna
here.
leave some black and white copies that are just English and Spanish, so in case you guys have any activities or anything.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and you guys have a great night.
May I meet the president?
Yes, sir.
Secretary, please, explain put in the television in 77.
We will.
But please,
We'll do.
in Spanish and English. It's okay?
For sure.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, Netanel Maor?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I'm here and my jurisdiction discussed here. You know how it works, so I'm gonna wait for you.
Okay, for your item to come up?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how it works, sorry.
Okay, thank you. Nobody else? Okay, thank you. We move on to consent agenda.
Mr. Vice President?
Yes, sir.
On the consent agenda, I just want to alert you that item C needs to be amended to reflect that the funding source for that particular expenditure will be state forfeiture funds, so that item will require an amendment.
Okay, so on the consent agenda, item C, I make a motion to amend item C to reflect that it's coming from
State forfeiture funds.
state forfeiture funds. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Yanyo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so do I have a motion?
Through the chair,
Sir,
I have a question. On item F of that consent agenda, where they are going to destroy a lot of property. In our package, there are several pages of items listed. And a lot of the items have the definition of, it's in French, Fox, I don't know how you pronounce it, counterfeited items, which the city have to destroy them because you cannot, you cannot commercialize with a counterfeited item because you are violating the brand name. But a lot of other items don't have that counterfeited definition, like bicycles, mirrors, Motorola two-way radio.
Through the chair, if I
Why
may.
we have to destroy them?
Through the
Or
chair.
why couldn't we resell them if they are
I'll-
not counterfeited?
I'll address that for you. All the items that are attached to that particular agenda item are either not usable at all or just pieces of parts. The bicycles are useless. Some of them we don't know where they came from. A lot of this stuff came from the clandestine property room, which that in of itself raises a lot of questions. I do not feel comfortable not ruling out that all of it is either stolen at one point or counterfeit and otherwise unusable as a whole. We went through this, we mulled through this, it's been months of hard work, having to go through 2 trailers, and this is probably about 80% of it. We still have another 20%, but we just have to clear some of this stuff up. We have to move forward. And this is just a part of our round cleanup to get rid of the old and start new, move forward. It's essential that we get rid of most of this stuff.
Yeah, no, we have to get rid of them. My question was if they could be sold
No, the items that,
to
the items
make
that-
some money out of it.
no, those items,
If they are not thinking, my own thinking, if they are not counterfeited, or if you know the source of the item, but by your explanation,
No,
some of
those-
these things you don't even know where they came from.
No, sir, it would be unfair to tell you that they're even sellable.
Yeah,
They really need to be disposed of.
I'm trying to make money for the city.
And I,
Whichever way,
Commissioner, I am too. I'm playing the lottery, and I'll give you. believe me.
whichever way we can legally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
May I, Mr. President?
Go ahead, sir.
Maybe not have time, the chief maybe go in a few times, 1 hour. I have question to the chief. He's very important for my city.
Do it.
Please, what guarantee in this moment, in this question, no. In this moment, all the record of the Carlos Lanza. That's it, no, I have another question.
What
What
guarantee?
guarantee is it? No have guarantee.
Well, we met earlier.
You know, you understand what he
Yes,
say.
we met earlier,
But
Commissioner.
that's it, oh, no.
No, we met earlier, and what I expressed to you was that I found, at least in my area, was a lack of control as to the management system or file management system. We have implemented a process and a set of controls and checks and balances to where we have our files accounted for. In talking to you, I'm sure that, and I've mentioned this to Mr. Ventura and to the mayor, once that issue arose, that there has to be a process established to account for everything in that department. This is not something that happened overnight. This is something that has been compounded over the years that needs to be addressed by establishing standard operating procedures in all departments across the board, which is in great part why I did what I did in my department, was to establish guidelines and procedures, including those that address the safekeeping of personnel files, which became an issue a few years ago, as you all know. So in short, I think that the same type of process has to be established and in place and people held accountable. You have to have policy in order to hold people accountable. There is no policy or procedure right now in that department to hold people accountable. That is the biggest issue that you have.
You recommend camera?
I recommend cameras. I recommend safeguarding.
In this
the
moment,
file
I have
cabinets.
nothing, it's free. Everybody
Well-
have the keys and the,
And again, it's a matter of establishing policy to hold people accountable.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, let's just finish it. All right. So, do I have a motion in the consent agenda as amended?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Barreto, second by Commissioner Duaso. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously. Let me see, I got so much papers. Okay. Staff item A. An ordinance of the City of Sweetwater Commission amending Article 9 of Chapter 18 of the Code.
Hey, oh,
H2.
E.
So the first thing, second page.
And second.
Again, item A, an ordinance of the City of Sweetwater Commission amending Article 9 of Chapter 18 of the Code of City of Sweetwater, Florida, entitled Towing Services, authorizing a $20 administrative fee to be charged by the city for all vehicles recovered, towed, removed, or stored at the request of Sweetwater Police Department, providing a severability clause and immediate effective date. Mayor Lopez.
Commissioners, the mayor's not here.
Right, that's good.
He's ill. I can give you the general concept of what this establishes. It's a process by which the city generates revenues from private tows. And in short, that's what it is. It's to hold not only revenue generating component, but an accountability component. They call in, it involves administrative paperwork, logging in the tows in order to ensure that it isn't a stolen vehicle, that it's been towed for the right reasons. This just gives us a process by which we establish a revenue source to compensate the city for the expenditure that it takes in order to hold accountable the tow companies.
May I, President?
Wait one moment. But it also, we still have the other form where they pay for, like if the person is arrested and is towed, that
That's a whole
form-
different,
Okay.
whole different
I just wanna
ordinance.
make
As a
sure it
matter of-
doesn't
No, that's a whole
supersede
different
that.
ordinance, and as a matter of fact, the city attorney and I are in discussion with a VIP ordinance, a correct vehicle impoundment ordinance that establishes, basically a normality and a right fee for the crime. And him and I have been working on it for a couple of months now.
Okay, Commissioner Dawson?
You know why? It's $20, no?
Yes, sir.
It's maybe companies say, okay, $30, $50, or not, maybe people pay $40, $50 again, and 20 for the city. I pay más money my citizen. It's impossible. You understand what I say?
Yes, sir.
Estoy diciendo que si nosotros le subimos a esa compañía que tiene que dar $20, el dinero que van a percibir es menos. Después no lo sube a nosotros y lo tiene que pagar el pueblo. Hay que comprender eso.
Commissioner, and I hear you and understand, but this is to curtail a pervasive problem where it isn't the citizen actually committing the violation or being addressed. A lot of times, I'll give you an example. In your condominium, you have people that come in from the outside, they park, You as a resident of the condominium have the right to call, or the agent for the condominium, whoever has the delegated authority to call, has a right to call the tow company that has advertised on the wall to call, and in that case, the car is towed because it isn't properly parked within the area. Those are the people that are going to get affected. You're not going to see your residents get affected that much. You might have a very small percentage by mistake, and those can be addressed on a case-by-case basis that they come into the police department. We do take care of our residents, and if we see that there's an error, they will be reimbursed.
Anybody else?
Move.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Maronio. Have a second?
Second.
Second, by Commissioner Suarez. Roll call, Madam Clerk?
Yes. Commissioner Maronio?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Duazo?
No.
Commissioner Barreto?
Yes.
Commissioner Yanio?
Yes.
Commissioner Berganian?
Yes. Okay, passes. Item B, an ordinance of the City of Sweetwater Commission amending section 14-9 of the Code of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, providing for a certificate of use fee for retail merchandising units, providing for a severability clause and an effective date. Here you go.
This is something that originally popped up a year ago when I was city attorney, but it happened near the end, close to the election. The matter just sort of went away. And then this gentleman back here popped up in my office 3 weeks ago with the same issue. I heard about it immediately when he was talking to somebody else, and I figured out exactly what it was. A retail merchandise unit is essentially one of the large carts that they have in Dolphin Mall. It's not a store, it's not a kiosk. It's essentially a movable component. So that's, for the most part, not completely, but for the most part, is plug and play. You unplug one place, you plug it someplace else. The carts may be moved, the individuals may move from one cart to another, but really there's very little structural change that takes place. The way we have it set now, every time they move, even if they move from one cart to the next, or they move it 25 feet, they have to pay an additional $500 fine, or $500 certificate of use fee, not a fine, but $570. It was unfair a year ago when this popped up under Mayor Diaz's administration. Mayor Diaz asked me to change it, but it was, like I said, on the eve of the election, that matter fell through the cracks. I still personally believe it's unfair, and that's why he asked the city attorney to draft the modification that's currently existed based on Mayor Lopez's instruction. What I did is I brought Carlos Lanza in, and we discussed this matter, and we debated different ways of doing it, and he suggested just a simple one-time, or every time you get a certificate of use, but for an RMU it would be only $150. And that would encompass everything. It encompasses an inspector going over, making sure the electrical is okay, making sure there's nothing untoward about the place, but it wouldn't be the $575 that's currently being charged. And again, I think that this is reflective of the fact that these are not fully built out stores, they're not built out kiosks, they're essentially large carts with merchandise on them.
Move.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Duazo, second by Commissioner Barreto. Roll call, Madam Clerk?
Yes. Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Duazo?
Yes.
Commissioner Barreto?
Yes.
Commissioner Yanio?
Yes.
Commissioner Maronio?
Yes.
Commissioner Berganian?
Yes. Passes.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Thank you. Okay, let me see where I'm at here. C. An ordinance of the City of Sweetwater City Commission amending section 3-11 of the Code of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, providing for a set time for commission meetings, providing for severability clause, and an immediate effective date. Commissioner Yanyo.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Duazo, second by Commissioner Barreto. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Duazo?
Yes.
I was gonna say.
Yes.
Commissioner Barreto?
Yes.
Commissioner Yanio?
Yes, before we pass, I just want to mention, the reason why I brought it up is because we were having difficulties. Every time a meeting has been scheduled by 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I don't know about the rest of the commission, but myself, it's very hard. I do work, I work at Doral, and it give me impossible to be here at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock unless I take off from work earlier, which I will be able to do once, but not very often. So the conclusion is that I think we should have it by 8 o'clock, but I think it's fair for everybody. And my vote is yes.
Okay, great. Commissioner Maronio?
Yes.
Commissioner Duaso?
Yes.
Commissioner Berganian?
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up.
How come I wasn't asked?
Commissioner Suarez, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I asked Commissioner Duaso twice.
Okay.
Commissioner Suarez.
I am in turn now. Oh my God, right, okay. Yes. When I read this ordinance, I agree with the 8 o'clock, but I thought right away, well, maybe we're shooting our own foot, because if at one time we need to change the schedule, but then I continue reading, and it says unless
Oh, less, yes.
otherwise scheduled at a time selected by a majority of the members of the commission. I say, okay, yes.
Thank you, sir. Okay, item D, a resolution of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, rescinding resolution number 4089, resolution 4090, and resolution 4091,
Move.
and providing an effective date. I brought that up.
Move.
Moved by Commissioner Duazo, second by Commissioner Barreto. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item E, a resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with FPL FiberNet LLC and providing an effective date. Mayor?
The purpose of this execution with FPL FiberNet is to essentially transition the city to a faster broadband connection for the city. It's going to be substantially faster. There'll be, I think, 2 or 3 nodes of input at different areas, and it will also be cheaper as well.
Okay, do I have a motion for that?
Through the chair,
Yes, sir.
the cost is $725 a month, which is $8,700 a year. Where is that money coming from?
That money is already budgeted. We already have money in place for broadband connections. I'm not sure of the exact line item, but we're already paying for broadband connection. So this will be, once we transition to the system, it will actually realize a net savings in that line item.
This is not subject to a bidding process to get the best price
This is
and
actually
the best service?
This is actually the best price you can get. I don't know what to tell you with that. You can use sole source, and you can purchase in the open market under our procurement code at the discretion of the city commission. This is essentially a sole source purchase, but it is literally the best price that's out there.
But it doesn't show here. Here it only shows one price. So how do you know it's the best price?
Because we have looked into it. If you wish to defer this matter to another month, we can do that, and we can get you a better report.
Mr. Waller?
Mr. Vice President?
Finished?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm done.
Mr. Waller?
To your question, Commissioner Suarez, if you look at the item also discusses that because you are picking one provider, it will require, rather than the 3 bids that are required, it will require it will require a 5/7 vote pursuant to the code.
And if I may say one more thing, the mayor just reminded me that FPL FiberNet is the reseller to other broadband providers, and they're providing us this cost at essentially a lower price than they provide to their own resellers.
Right, I spoke to the mayor about this a while back, and he started. I don't remember. That's why I didn't say anything exactly the different numbers and everything. But he did show it to me, and that he was trying to get the cheapest price, and he got really way down. If it's the same thing that we're talking
It
about.
is exactly the same thing. This is FPL FiberNet is a company that's owned by FPL. They're the ones who lay the pipe that is then resold to Comcast and other entities.
why is the approval of this agreement subject to a 5/7 vote?
Because it doesn't have the three separate bids.
Okay,
So it will require a supermajority.
thank you.
In other words, the commission itself can go ahead and basically, with that 5/7 vote, approve this item as
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I got a motion by Ms. Maronio, and I'll second the item. It's a resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Say aye. Okay, passes the majority.
Mr. President, may I suggest that you have a roll call so you can identify the
roll call.
5/7
Oh, yes,
votes?
okay,
Yes.
can we have a roll call, Madam Clerk, please?
Sure. Commissioner Barreto,
I pass.
Commissioner Yanio,
Yes.
Commissioner Maronio,
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez,
Yes,
Commissioner Duazo,
Pass.
Commissioner Barreto,
Mr. Attorney, we are not going to have any problems, we don't have the three bids for sure?
As long as you have you meet the five, this item meets the 5/7 vote, you should be fine.
I know it's the best choice, but I don't have the numbers in front of me.
It's entirely at your discretion, Commissioner, at this point. If you have a 5/7 vote, then the agreement is approved. If you have anything less than that, then the item, the motion wouldn't carry.
We're going to pay this on a monthly basis or just one time?
I believe this is it's a 5-year contract, I believe.
Yes.
And it's on a monthly basis for 5 years.
May I, Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Quadra, how many times? 2 times for pass the commission, 2 times.
This is a resolution.
2
so we
times, not
would-
1 time, 2 times, pass.
As far as resolution, Commissioner,
Yes,
it will require only a one-time vote.
1 time.
Yes, sir.
You remember you check long time before, maybe 2 times. I don't know why change.
For ordinances, it's 2 votes.
2 votes.
Ordinances
Second
is
reading.
two.
Ordinance, okay,
Yes.
2 times, okay.
Okay.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I said no.
No. Commissioner Duazo,
No,
Commissioner Bergenian,
Yes. So we're gonna have 4?
That's right.
Okay, so it doesn't pass.
Is there any way that we
Didn't
can
pass.
Bring it up to the next
bring
meeting.
it to the next meeting and then I can see the numbers?
I will raise that with the mayor tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you. Item F, an ordinance of the City of Sweetwater Commission amending Article 10 of the Land Development Code of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, entitled Impact Fees, providing for transportation impact fees expenditures and providing for severability clause and an effective date. Mayor Lopez.
This is an item amending the use of the impact fees. It was requested through different channels as well, to permit the use of impact fees, roadway impact fees, to conduct studies. I asked the city attorney to draft a modification to that effect. He's drafted an excellent modification that actually is very meticulous in meeting my request and actually correcting a few issues that were missing as well.
move.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Duaz, second by Commissioner Maronio. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Yanio,
I wanna pass.
Commissioner Maronio,
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez,
yes,
Commissioner Duazo,
Yes,
Commissioner Barreto,
Yes.
Commissioner Yanio,
Yes.
Commissioner Bergenian,
Yes. Okay, passes. Item G, ratification of mayor's appointment of department heads. Does he have any appointments?
Not at this time.
Okay. Item H, a resolution of the city. Ma'am?
Sir,
Oh,
can
yes.
you
oh yes.
explain that again with a violation of the code requirement?
Yeah, I
For
think
the
the
record?
mayor is pretty well aware, but,
Just for the record.
under the code requirements, any meeting after the department head was not, granted,
Lo va a pasar Commissioner report.
any meeting, whether it's an emergency, regular, or special meeting, they must bring a name of a new department head for ratification to the city commission, which the mayor has not done so in approximately 9 months. So, again, we move on. That's the reason we're in court. So, yes, ma'am?
May I? Mr. Attorney, for how long the mayor can have this like an open basis? We have already 9 months and nothing happened.
What I can tell you, Madam Commissioner, is that the requirement of the code is very clear. After a department head is not confirmed by this commission, at the subsequent meeting, whether it's a special meeting or a regularly scheduled meeting, a new name needs to be brought up for consideration by the commission. That's really the answer. There's no other specific time limit. It has to be by the next meeting.
So the time limit, it could be 1 year or 2 years and the same person?
No, the time limit was the meeting subsequent to the meeting after that particular department head was up for ratification and did not obtain the ratification of this commission. The subsequent meeting, that is the deadline. Whether it's a special.
We're coming like 9 months, next meeting, next emergency meeting, and we don't have anything.
Commissioner, the answer to your question really remains, the deadline was the following meeting, and that remains the answer. There's no extension to
Is
that.
there any way that we can change that in the charter? That some limited that after 9 months, something.
9 months, next meeting.
No, that's not next
It's
meeting.
in the- it's in the
It's
charter.
next meeting, but the next meeting will be having the same thing.
We're in court now, and I guess that'll be decided when we come out of court. Okay, we can move on then, please. Item H, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, authorizing the purchase of auto parts from Midway Ford, authorizing the expenditure of funds and providing an effective date.
Move.
Second.
Okay, I didn't read thoroughly into this. What was the auto part that was,
This is for the circulator, and it's $1,723.
okay, no, 'cause it says auto parts.
That's a scrivener's error.
Okay, I was
That will
like,
be correct.
I'm bad enough as it is. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner
Duazo.
second by Commissioner.
Maronio.
I have something to say through the chair.
Un momentico, who seconded it?
Commissioner
By
Maronio.
Commissioner Maronio. Okay, Mr. Suarez, you have the floor.
Yes, it's going to cost $1,722.39. Where is that money coming from? Again,
Maintenance department, maintenance budget.
pardon?
The maintenance budget.
They have the budget for that.
Yes,
We have repair and maintenance.
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
Alan
and-
sitting here? Alan?
And the money is still available. It's
Yes.
still there.
Yes.
Mr.
Okay.
President,
Okay, Mr.
Mr.
Gual.
Ventura, yes, we still don't have a specific line item for that. I know it's the maintenance budget, but I don't know if there's a specific,
I'm sorry, I've been informed it comes out of the transit, but is there a line item for maintenance in the transit budget?
Yeah, it's maintenance and repair.
The
line
R&M.
item Out of the transit.
The R&M of the transit budget, so it's not the maintenance, repair and I'm sorry, it's not maintenance, repair and maintenance, it's transportation, repair and maintenance. It's still,
And do we have to modify then the?
yes, it would require an amendment to show to reflect
You're
the,
going to add it to the resolution, right?
yes, correct.
I have a second question. This is not a question, this is a remark.
yes, sir.
Some time ago, there was some argument, discussion, agreements and disagreement whether expenses could be addressed by the commission retroactively, especially about Wise Serota payment.
Yes.
This invoice for Midway Ford, it says date entered March 22nd, date shipped March 22nd. So we are approving it retroactively.
Alan?
Yeah.
And that was a big argument a few months ago.
No, the item hasn't been bought yet. The circulator is on standby over at the maintenance department. But we probably got a quote some time ago. The bus has been down for about a month or more.
I have no problem with buying a part on emergency. I have no problem coming to a commission meeting on an emergency for expenses over $1,000. I guess have to be approved by the commission. It used to be $3,500. Now it's $1,000. So That's why we have so many emergency meetings now.
Sure.
Because we dropped it from 3,500 to 1,000. We're shooting our foot again, see? Now, but the invoice says date shipped March 22nd.
I can assure you that the part has not been purchased yet. You know, regardless of what the invoice says. We asked for a quote, we got it. We knew it had to come to commission. The circulator is still down.
And I know that the circulator have to get rolling again. I agree with that. I just wanted to make that remark by what I saw on the invoice.
Sure.
The invoice says retroactive. I heard your explanation. I like it, but I said at the beginning, a remark.
Absolutely.
Okay, Commissioner Duaso, do you want to make your motion
Make
to be
your motion.
amended? To be amended
What amendment why?
to reflect that the funds are
To
coming out of the
reflect
transportation
That's okay.
repair and maintenance
To
budget.
fill out the blank,
So-
right?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, and the motion would be to go ahead and include the funding source, which is the repair and maintenance from the transportation budget.
Exactly. And then you seconded it, Ms.
Yes.
Madam Commissioner?
Yes.
Okay. And it's resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Done in one shot.
As amended.
As amended.
That's
That's
amended.
yeah.
Okay, item I, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, supporting and endorsing the South Florida Parks Coalition Charter and the principles on which it stands, and providing an effective date.
This is an organization that promotes the use of parks and essentially the use of parks for recreation and family purposes and nature trails and so forth. And we're essentially asking, the mayor's essentially asking the city commission to endorse the principles of essentially having more park space. It's a non-binding resolution.
Okay, move,
Second.
and second, moved by myself, second by Commissioner Barrero and Suarez. All in favor? Say
Aye.
Passed unanimously. Item K, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, authorizing the purchase of lighting equipment from HLH Sobico Electric Supplies Corporation, authorizing the expenditure of funds and providing an effective date.
Good evening, Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
All right.
How can I help?
Well,
You've got three
can you
quotes
explain a
here,
little bit
so
of
we
what it
can-
is?
Yes, absolutely. This is lighting for the racquetball courts at Ron Zelli Park. And the money is coming out of about a 4 or 5 year old municipal bond that has about $2,300 left in it. And as soon as we spend that $2,300, we're gonna additionally get a $30,000 retainer from that bond, which is approximately 10% retainer. And we thought that would be the best way to go ahead and use that $2,300. It's for use in the park only, and we've had continuous complaints about the lighting at the racquetball courts. I think last month for the commission meeting,
Right.
there were several gentlemen here that used the courts.
I just want to make sure that it doesn't go unsaid again. The racquetball court on this side, on Carlo Park,
No.
and the basketball,
Oh.
if we can add that to the next time that we come up with the
The
lighting,
lighting.
it's terrible.
No, Carlos Park, yeah, I know.
And the basketball
Terrible.
and the racquetball,
Yeah.
and that's used a lot.
Well, this particular company, Sobico, has given us 600-watt lights for the price of 250, which we have purchased, 250-watt lights, which we have purchased
May I
before.
meet the president?
So they're the people to buy them from. Again, in regards to funding, this came out of an old,
So
bond.
it's $2,300 from the fund, from the grant that
Yeah,
we have.
yeah.
Okay.
Director,
Wait, Commissioner Duas.
you have any company or your partner installation is light?
No, we're gonna install the lights.
Installation?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
It's not a company.
No, no.
Thank you.
We install.
Commissioner Año?
Yes, I was confused. That lighting is gonna be by the Jorge Mascanosa or the,
It's gonna be at the racquetball courts located at Ronzelli Park.
Roselle
Yeah.
Park?
Mhm.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Commissioner Suarez?
Alan, I saw the three quotes.
Mhm.
The first quote they quote the total amount of lighting lamps. The second quote is same. The third quote, they quoted $658. That's per lamp, I assume.
Exactly, yes,
All
each.
right.
Yeah, the reason was on the original quotes, the first two quotes, we asked for 10 lights, which we were gonna use here in the City Hall parking area.
Okay.
So we just essentially used the same quote for the lighting at Ronzelli.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're gonna purchase 4 lights at a cost of $525 each.
May I, Mr. President?
Yes.
Only question, I got have confusion. Only in condominium, is not in city, for 40 years, check.
40-year recertification?
Yeah, 40 years, all the buildings, the 40 years, you check everything. It's it's private, no city, no?
No, all buildings have to go through a 40-year recertification.
Private, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, but I think it means that if they have to take that certification on their own. Like their condominium association has to go to wherever, the city, the county, and get it recertified. It's not that the city goes and recertifies.
No, they don't, and they actually, don't issue you a warning or any kind of paperwork. You essentially, at the 40-year mark, have to go ahead and get an engineering firm that does this kind of 40-year recertification and turn in the paperwork. It's quite lengthy. It's not something that they could handle in-house. And there's a cost associated, and you check for electrical issues, structural issues, for the most part, and then certify the building again.
May I, Mr. President? Last year, is President was Friday Heritage number 2, President. I got 3 or 4 months before. You know why? Check in my record, $95,000
For,
in my condominium.
for?
Assessment?
No, $95,000.
Assessment, I guess.
Oh,
President
for a 40-year recertification?
no, 1 year President.
Oh,
When Friday Heritage, I say 95,000 in the record
Okay.
have in my condominium. It's very clear.
excellent.
Similar to Seawater.
Very good.
Okay, Commissioner Yavi?
It's just a quick question. It's not related to what we're talking about right now,
Sure.
but are you gonna be standing until the end? Because I really have an issue.
I do. I am
Okay,
gonna
great.
stay, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so,
Okay, move.
moved by Commissioner Maronio. No, it was already moved, wasn't it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was move on second.
Move and second by Commissioner Barrero and Yaño. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item L, a resolution of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, clarifying outside litigation counsel's authority to prosecute all appropriate legal actions adverse to the mayor, clarifying outside litigation counsel's authority to defend the city commission and the city commissioners against action filed by the mayor, and providing for an effective date. This is brought by Commissioner President Diaz.
Move.
Second.
Okay, before we go anything, I just want to make sure that everybody understands in the commission that this is basically just to say that the lawyers that we have obtained and Genovese and the rest of the lawyers are acting for the commissioners, are acting with the proper authority given to them by the commission to be able to litigate this in our defense. I mean, in our behalf. Okay, roll call, Madam Clerk, if I could on this one.
Sure. Commissioner Maronio,
Yes?
Commissioner Suarez,
Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Duazo, Commissioner Barreto,
Yes.
Commissioner Yanio,
Yes.
Commissioner Berganian,
Yes. Okay. Passes. Go to item M in the next package. Okay, an ordinance of the City of Sweetwater Commission creating Article 4 of Article 58 of the Code of City of Sweetwater, Florida, entitled Streets, Sidewalks, and Certain Other Public Places, providing for procedures for reimbursement of roadway construction costs that benefit other property owners and provide severability clause and an effective date. I brought this up. This is the first reading and the public hearing. This is a, public hearing is now open. Anybody that wishes to discuss this, please come forward. Nobody? Okay, let the record reflect that nobody has shown up to talk about this item.
Move. Second.
Public hearing is now closed. And I got a motion by Commissioner Maronio, second by Commissioner Yaño. And may I have a roll call, Madam Clerk.
Sure. Commissioner Suarez,
Yes?
Commissioner Duazo,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrero,
Yes.
Commissioner Yanio,
Yes.
Commissioner Maronio,
Yes.
Commissioner Berganian,
Yes, and thank you, everybody. Good benefit to our citizens. Item N, a resolution of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, approving addendum to agreement approved by Resolution 4119, which vacated certain portion of Northwest 108 Avenue right-of-way located between Northwest 25th Street and Northwest 23rd Street, as recorded on Plat Book 48 at page 58 of the Hampton Park subdivision, according to the public records of Miami-Dade County, Florida, and provided an effective date. Mayor.
Council, Vice President, as you recall, we've been working with the city for about a year and a half to take care of all the area around the circle, which is totally deteriorated. We did have the approval of the council a while back ago, and then we went into and created a contract between all of the property owners. There are 6 property owners there are 6 properties that have to do with this, and we've gotten the approval and the signatures from 5 of the 6 properties. The other ones, the last one, we've tried to get a hold of them. We sent them 3 different letters. We actually, 2 of them were certified letters to no avail. So what we're coming now is for an amendment to the contract that we already have approved by you guys, so that we could actually delete that non-participant that obviously is not willing to participate, so that the other 5 properties can go ahead and continue to work on this.
But the contract that you guys came here before, that we went through this whole thing, didn't it say that if a person pays for that parcel to be done, that they get the parcel and it's over with?
Yes, that is true, and really, that's what the owners would like to do. The way that it was written, when we spoke to Mr. Ventura wanted that property to remain with the city. Really, the view of all the other owners is why do we have to pay for all of that if we're not going to have any use of it? And there is, in fact, one of the property owners that is willing to do that. We would prefer that to happen, really, because the other owners are saying, well, why should we pay? And again, the other thing is, what is the city going to really do with that minute little piece of property?
Well, in my opinion, number one, it's a small amount of property.
Oh, it's the smallest one of all.
Liability that we're gonna have in that little property if some accident or something happens, that it's already in the contract that you already have.
It's already in the
And the
contract.
fact that we just passed something similar to that, where they're paying for, somebody pays for something to be done of their neighbors, and when it's their turn to ante up, they get the property, or they get the costs that were incurred.
Yeah, all of the
So I
owners
don't see
that-
why we have to do another resolution.
Well, no, there still have to be a resolution, and the resolution is that now that one party that is not responding, for that party not to be a participant. That is one. The second part is who is going to retain that parcel, and I agree with what you're saying. That parcel, in the view of the participants, should be retained by the person or by the party that actually makes all of those improvements.
But wasn't that in the first contract?
It was. It was, but yeah. Oh, okay.
Sir, Mr. Ventura is waiting.
You had an agreement, there's a circle. There are different owners all around the circle. One person wants to go in and has a vision to improve the circle, but doesn't own all the land. So that person has gotten, supposedly, the 6 people to agree that each one of them shall get a reversion of the property back, and then they will go ahead and make the improvements. That's the idea. That agreement that encompassed 6 different owners requires a signature of 6 different people. Without the 6 different people, if you're missing one, you don't have an agreement. So the agreement that was had before, because it misses one person and it requires that person to be an indispensable party to the agreement, makes the agreement void. So when they presented this to me, I said, well, then at that point, this one parcel of land still belongs to the city. Let the city keep that parcel of land and have the other owners make the improvements to the city's portion. At that point, the entire circle is developed, it looks nice, and the city's portion is developed, and at that point, it remains with the city as it is currently today. It's still city property right now.
Right.
So we don't incur any greater liability than we currently have. We already have that liability. So the idea here really is to figure out a way to get that 6th person out of the equation, to let the other 5 people go forward and fix the property and fix their portions of the property each individually, and then together in groups, however they want to do it, fix our portion so that it all looks like one nice circle. That's the idea. Am I correct with that, Tony?
That is correct. The only
So I guess if you know what I mean, I guess what I was confused was then it was just the maintenance that the person gets to keep it if they maintain it. It's not if the person pays for the initial.
No, the way this agreement was originally written, okay, and understand it's an agreement that I never liked.
Right.
Okay, but the way that this agreement was originally written is that there are parcels of land there are easements that belong to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wants these easements developed.
Right.
Okay, so the way that this works is the easements get deeded back to the original owners, and when they're deeded back, the owners have an obligation to fix their portions of the land, and if they fail to do so, then there are penalty provisions that kick in. And the penalty provisions require at that point that the other parties fix that portion of the land, or ultimately it reverts back to the city 3, 4, 5 years from now, however long that might be. But again, that agreement required 6 signatures. With 5
Right,
signatures only, you don't have an agreement. What this does is that essentially it avoids all that, it gets the area fixed, and then that 1/6 of the land still retains, the city still retains the ownership to that land.
Through the chair.
If I can,
Yeah, go.
well, my opinion is, it's a small piece of property, there's a liability to it. If they're developing it, and they're gonna maintain it, and they're gonna pay for it, I think it's only right that they keep it. It's a very small
But
piece of
you
property.
can't.
I agree.
You cannot deed land to somebody. I can't give Commissioner Barreto some land, and then tell Carmen to go fix the land that I just gave Commissioner Barreto.
No, I'm saying to pass, I guess it would be as amended, to amend it so that the person that's paying for it gets it instead of the city of Sweetwater.
But then you would have one portion of the. Oh, you're saying to deed that land back
To whoever pays for it.
But you're looking about a sliver of land
Right.
that, at this point,
But one
it
of the,
doesn't make sense actually.
no, what Mr. Ventura is saying is all right.
Through the
That's
chair,
a reason. Oh,
I like to ask Ventura before.
Go ahead.
Mr. Ventura, the original resolution
Yes, sir.
also stated that if one owner didn't do the improvement, any other owner of the circle, around the circle,
Right.
was allowed to do the improvement on that piece of, and pay for it, and then will acquire in the property of that sliver.
Yes.
And logically, some things are not logical, but logically, the owner to pay for the improvement of a non-contributing owner
Right.
should be the adjacent owner who will acquire that piece of land, extend his property a little bit. The city of Sweetwater will get tax increases because they had to pay taxes to the city.
Yes.
That was the original agreement.
Yes.
Okay, the new agreement, as far as I understand this, the city of Sweetwater wants to retain that sliver of land, which is
Yes.
the smaller piece of land of the circle.
Yes.
I saw it in the drawings.
Yes.
We are not going to get a tax revenue on that piece.
That's correct. We don't currently get it.
Somebody we suppose is gonna pay to improve our land,
Yes.
which we're gonna keep.
Yes.
And pay higher taxes.
Yes.
Which is good for the city.
In my opinion, I see more reasonable if we continue with the same theory of the first resolution, that any owner who wants to improve a land that owner is not agreeing to improve will pay for it and will acquire the title. And logically should be the adjacent landowner, I suppose.
And what if the adjacent landowner does not want to do that? What if it's the landowner across the circle who wants it done?
Okay, he will do it and he
And
will
you're
get
gonna
it.
get, and at that point, the city is going to give that person who actually wants the area developed and would, in theory, be willing to pay to have the entire area developed. We're gonna give them a portion of land that's gonna be relatively small, and it really, to me, it doesn't make any
By
sense.
the same token,
Yes, sir.
how could you tell that any of the 5 remaining owners are going to pay to improve the city of Sweetwater property?
Because this is their deal, and it's the deal that they want.
Yeah,
They're the ones who want the
deal
deal.
was they will improve that piece of property and acquire the title. In this case, they are not.
They
The city
want-
is
they want the-
retaining the title.
No, sir, they want the deal, and dollars to donuts. They want the deal, it's in their monetary interest to do so for whatever reason. I don't know the whole particulars, I don't know the background of this, I don't know who's involved in this, and I never liked this deal.
Why did you never like it?
Because of the way it was presented to me, I thought it smacked of fraud.
Like what?
I thought it smacked of fraud when it was presented to me the first time. Now, that's not Tony, Tony was not in the room. But the way it was presented to me, and I will be happy to tell you in private how it was presented to me, but I never liked the deal. But
And
other
I
than that,
still don't like it today, or you have changed your mind?
looking at this deal, there is nothing that I can see right now that says to me it's a red flag and it's fraudulent. Okay, I do not see it. Okay? But Rafael Ventura, is not going to guarantee this deal because of the way it was originally presented to me. I do not like the way it was presented to me, and I nearly kicked the guy out of the office. And it was not Tony. I want to say it was not Tony. He was not in the room. It was.
It may have been another party, I would imagine.
I know. I'll tell you who it was when we're outside.
Okay.
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 All right.
Can we say something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Apparently, somebody tried to do exactly what we were trying to do in a manner which was not kosher. Believe me, I came to all of you, and I came to Mr. Ventura, and we know that we're doing a great deal for the city. Now, the other thing that we'd like to say is that we have here tonight the adjacent property owner, who is the one that says, "Hey, I will put in the money." And I am the adjacent, so the property is going to be given an extension to myself. He's here, and if you would like to question him, the gentleman is here.
If the adjacent property owner actually does agree to this in writing, then I don't think that there should be an issue. The issue that I've had with some of this is simply that not everybody has been to the table, and there have been people making representations that other people will not make. If the adjacent property owner is willing to do this, then the administration withdraws that objection.
Yeah, we've been working really hard on this, and I think I finally got everybody.
Right. We want this to happen. That's it's not going to get fixed forever and a day.
Exactly.
Unless this project goes forward. It brings a big hotel here. It brings a lot of revenue, jobs, and everything else. So Ralph was trying to take care of the city, but we've gotten to a point where all the X's, the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. So if I can, through the city attorney,
yes, sir.
I don't know exactly all the exact wording, but if we can modify the amendment to read that the property will go back to the person that's paying for it, which is the adjacent property owner, and the deal moves forward.
Then the motion would include the following amendment, that the adjacent property owner that makes and pays the infrastructure improvements will go ahead and basically that particular piece of the right of way will be vacated to that property owner. So that will be the nature of the amendment.
Okay, and I make a motion for this as amended.
But, through the chair?
Yes, sir.
But don't we need a commitment from the adjacent property owner in writing?
Yes.
Part
No.
of the-
He's been from day one.
It will be incorporated in the agreement itself, identifying that particular,
Yeah.
the adjacent owner.
Through the chair, can I ask a question to the adjacent owner? You are
Sir,
the
Carlos
property
Dueñas.
owner of lot number 8, right?
I own both corners around the circle.
The one across 24th
The one
Street too?
across 108th Avenue on the east side and on the west side. I own both of those corners.
Could you state your name, please?
Carlos Dueñas.
From what company?
My company is MVC Transportation or Dueñas Holding.
Okay,
I also have CSD and TFMK is in the city of Sweetwater.
okay.
My intentions were, we've gone even to speak with the hotel. I've been in the city for about 11 years. In my area, there's a lot of little parcels that are owned, 7,000 square feet by individuals. Personally, I've been purchasing all of the little areas around because the ultimate goal is to have a decent block and not all these 7,000 square foot lots, residential, commercial, and it's just a big mess. So I've even gone with the hotel and we're swapping some land to make things look uniformed within the city. And that's the whole idea here as well. So when the other property owner didn't step up, they came up to me and I said, listen, we'll try to get the property, I'll fix it on my dime, I'll pay the taxes on it, and we're good. So that originally is what we had planned.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by me, second by Commissioner
Yeah.
Ñaño and Barreto. And this is a,
As amended.
yes, as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous.
Thank
you.
Before we
Finally got
leave,
this
there was another item that I did not see on the agenda, which was that the resolution, the amendment to the resolution. One of the participants in our group wants to get an occupational license. He's not able to get an occupational license right now because to do that, he needs to complete landscaping. That's one of the requirements from building and zoning.
Vice President, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is being handled administratively at this
Oh,
point.
okay.
Yes, as we're well aware of the issue, and it's a mess, but it's an unfair issue to him, and we are trying to resolve it along with Eric and Carlos.
Okay, I just didn't see it in the agenda, so I wanted to.
It would not have been appropriate to handle it at this level. It's an administrative matter at this point, and it is being handled within administration.
Great, thank you.
Thanks again, and
Thank
we're
you.
looking forward to making that circle look really good.
Awesome, great, thank you.
I never said, for the record, my name is Tony Rodriguez Tellache.
Able to vote for amendment of resolution?
Fue amended ya. Ya pasó.
Ya pasó, no, resolution.
Fue amended.
No resolution.
Okay, item O, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, rescinding Resolution 4161 and providing for an effective date. City Attorney.
Mr. President, would you, I suggest you read all of the resolutions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that
Okay.
we can handle them all at once.
Okay, this is, goes to the meeting that we had before, where we were trying to find the funding for the projects for the grant. So I'm gonna go ahead and read item O, P, and Q, and they all have the same effect, either, a resolution, basically taking off the
Mr. President.
rescinding.
Sir, if you could just go ahead and.
Okay. You don't want to hear me go on and on? Okay, a resolution of the City of Sweetwater, of the City Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, rescinding Resolution 4161 and providing for an effective date. We have O, alternate, which is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, amending Resolution number 4161, amending funding source for the agreement with Kent Stapleton and Associates, and providing for an effective date.
Move.
Wait,
I have
it's
three
all-
different, I have three.
Yes. Item P, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, rescinding Resolution 4162 and providing an effective date. Or you have P, alternate, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, amending Resolution 4162, amending funding source for agreement with NC Office and providing for an effective date. And item Q, a resolution of the City of Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, rescinding Resolution 4163 and providing an effective date, which has Q, alternate, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sweetwater, Florida, amending Resolution 4163, amending funding source for an agreement with T.Y. Lin and providing for an effective date. City Attorney.
Move.
Mr. Vice President, if you recall last week, you approved 3 resolutions that each approve an agreement, one with T.Y. Lin and Associates, one with Ken Stapleton and Associates, and another one with NC Office. At the time, you were making your approval with the condition that today you would receive a breakdown of a different funding source. The resolutions that you approved included general funds as the funding source. So the conditional approval of those basically included a breakdown of funding source other than general funds, number one. Number two, an analysis as to the necessary criteria if impact fees of any kind were utilized. I believe Mr. Herrera provided all of you with a memorandum that includes a breakdown of funding for each one of those agreements. Included within that breakdown, I believe you have different impact fees that are shown there. And he went ahead and listed the rationale as to why administration believes that impact fees can be used for those specific agreements. I believe that there's one agreement, and correct me, Mr. Herrera, if I'm wrong, it's the one for Ken Stapleton?
Yes.
That particular agreement provides you with alternative options for funding source. One is basically professional fees, other professional fees, or impact fees. So I just want to highlight, as you consider this these options, that you have for each one of those agreements. If you are comfortable with the funding source in the analysis, you have the following options. You have 3 options, really. Number one, you can keep the resolutions as they are and keep the funding source as general funds. The other option is basically amending those resolutions to include the funding breakdown provided in the memorandum from Mr. Herrera.
Alternate. That's the alternate.
Yes, and the final option, if you are not comfortable with any of those funding sources, you also have the option of rescinding the resolutions that approve each agreement. So I just wanted to go ahead and lay on the table the different options that you have, and that's why you have an item and an alternate item, all basically giving you the room to and the latitude to decide as you wish. But again, I want to remind you that the items the items pertaining to Ken Stapleton Associates have not one breakdown of funding source, but you have an option of 2. And I'll let Mr. Herrera just walk you through that.
Basically, Guillermo has wrapped it up in a nutshell. Thank you, sir. As per last meeting, you requested a little bit more analysis, a little bit more breakdown of information. So accordingly, just delved into everything that the consultants would be doing. What different areas will these projects entail, and what different tasks in the most detailed fashion on one end, and then coupled it with impact fee types to where they apply. The engineer and architect services pretty much mirror each other. One is, to liken it to the human body, one is kind of the bones and the DNA, and then the other one is the outside and the shape. So that analysis was rather straightforward. It was broken down into 5 distinct tasks that they will be undertaking, and then identified as, roads, parks, general government, or whatnot, and divided by 5. It yielded 70-30. 70% transportation impact fees, 30 parks. Then, Ken Stapleton's role, however, is he will be, my assistant composer. He will be grabbing everything that we are dreaming up and telling the engineer and architects to do and putting it together, and furthermore assisting in the benefit cost analysis, which is a must to see if it really makes sense for the city, if it fits in. Additionally, he's a renowned crime prevention expert. He will be making everything what's called crime prevention through design to add that safety component, which is highly regarded by grants. So when he jumps in to do a benefit cost analysis or to review budgets, he kind of entails everything, the whole spectrum. So there, grab practically everything that he'll be doing, which totaled in about 8 different, encompassed 8 different functions, and then divided it up by area. So basically, it's just, what will they be doing coupled with impact fee uses. And here I also cited the authority, which in addition to the amendments that we're making now to the impact fee ordinance, cites that it may be used for these types of services. At any rate, as I think I've established, Mr. Stapleton's role is more of a broad brush dynamic, so that's why his is further broken down, and I also put out an option of another general fund account that was available and as per finance department was also available. I place it in your hands.
Okay, if I could, I wanna say that as far as, I think it's item O, which is the one with Ken Stapleton, that general fund professional fees, you can forget that. That money is already, is gonna be used for other professional fees such as the attorneys that all this litigation is brought forward.
Okay,
So,
I've forgotten it. I just get informed by finance and move forward, so you just putting it out there to you.
they're confused. So, my opinion is, and I'd like to make a motion, I'm gonna separate it. Item, O, I'd like to, go with the alternate, make a motion to approve the alternate with the funding source being the impact fees of transportation parks, general government impact fees, and police impact fees.
Yeah.
Okay.
As broken down in the memorandum.
Yes, sir. As broken down in memorandum for Ken Stapleton and Associates, $17,500. I have a motion and a second by Commissioner Yaño and Barreto. And it's all in favor?
Aye.
As amended, or
As
alternate.
amended. Well,
Alternate, the alternate.
Oh, alternate.
Yeah, the alternate, but in the Ken Stapleton, let me make sure, we are not paying from the professional fees, we are paying it from the impact fees. Because
sir.
we have that other extra option on that one.
Yes.
That was the amendment. That was the
That was
amendment.
the amendment.
Alternate meaning impact fees. If you guys want to say with specificity, it's recommendable.
Thank you.
Okay, and then the same thing, but it's gonna be for item P and Q, to use the alternates, which are from they only come from, there's no other, they're all from impact fees. So I make a motion to do.
As
the-
outlined in the memorandum.
As outlined in the memorandum for item P and Q, alternate.
P alternate and Q alternate.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, alternate.
I made a motion and Commissioner Maronio, do I have a second?
Second, but which fee is impact fee we get that no.
Okay, for the, right here, it's gonna be transportation and parks
Parts, yeah.
for both of them.
Second,
I have a second by Barreto, Yaño, and Suarez,
As amended.
as amended. All in favor?
aye.
Both P alternate and Q alternate passed.
Yes, sir.
On that note, those city attorney items, O, P, and Q, they'll be withdrawn, since there's no action on those items.
Okay. Note that they're withdrawn. Okay, I think we're almost done here. So I go back. Alan? Okay. we're going to
Thank you for your
item-
vote of confidence.
Thank you, sir, for all your work and your diligence. Item 12, reports. A, police and code enforcement report.
Normally, I just would give you the in-depth report that I give you, but in this case, when there is a reportable condition, when it comes to certain issues within the police department, I will come forward and report them to you. Recently, we concluded the UCR reports for 2013-2014 fiscal year, and have found what I believe to be a large number of discrepancies in the UCR reporting. And I would like to meet with each one of you individually to explain to you what the repercussions are and what the circumstances are. But there is a huge variation and there is a huge deficiency in the UCR reporting for 2013-2014.
Okay.
So at your convenience, I would like to meet with you because I have to make some changes to the state reporting. Okay, basically UCR is Uniform Crime Reporting Statistics, which are submitted to the states and subsequently disseminated to all agencies and government. This basically is a gauge as to what crime is and where you're at in your city, or for that matter in your county, in your state, etc. What happened is, and it happened in the city of Miami on one occasion, and other agencies on other occasions where they were held liable and there were serious repercussions for it. When you miscategorize a report, either by error or by directive or whatever the case may be, I'll give you a perfect crude example. You have a purse left in a vehicle. Mr. Bergnan, you get back to your car, your wife's purse is missing from the vehicle. If that purse is reported as a lost item as opposed to a stolen item, that is not correctly reported under UCR. And that's what I found in a lot of instances here, and I'm reviewing over 600 reports. So it's going to take me some time, but I have to go one by one and review the reports. So I just wanted to make you aware that there is going to be a change in the UCR reporting for 2013, 2014.
Great, thank you.
Oh, by the way, the equitable sharing has also been unfrozen, which is good news. I'd like to also meet with you, Commissioner, and discuss along with the mayor the concept of the leasing of the vehicles once the cash flow does start. But we did get a letter last week or so that they will be resuming the equitable sharing.
Awesome, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, B, Parks and Recreation Report. I think we got it in writing. Maintenance Department Report.
Please, I have question
We
too.
got a big package here.
I have question to Mr. Alan.
Come on up. You're next. You're the next contestant.
You have question to Alan? Go ahead. No, you number one. Go ahead.
Good evening.
I just want you to show you the situation, and I would like to say in Spanish because the lady who approached me because they desperately they don't know what to do anymore. They are just watching the meeting tonight and they don't speak English. Okay. Esta es la situación que hay en las 7 calles de Southwest, en la 109 Avenida y la 110, entre la 109 y la 110. Ok, aquí está. Mira lo que se ha convertido este lugar donde dice no parking.
Can I?
Sure. De acuerdo con ella, ellos fueron, hablaron en el Parque Mascanosa con Yaima Vega. Ella tiene copias, llevan 2 meses en esta situación y siguen la misma historia. Entonces, si ellos colectaron esto, parece que aparentemente tiran personas que trabajan en otro lado, tiran el garbage y lo recogieron de ahí para que vieran que se ha vuelto eso, es algo penoso.
That's the apartment complex.
De apartment complex. Él dice que los vecinos lo ponen el lunes, pero no esa cantidad, y a los 3 días vuelven otra vez de nuevo a llenarse eso. Parece que están haciendo un illegal dumping.
Yeah.
Ellas están desesperadas, no saben qué más van a hacer, han tratado de ir a todos los lugares y no ha pasado nada. The reason why I brought this over to you is because you know, the neighbors, the residents are concerned. If you can see, it says no parking, and look what it has become.
Yeah.
A dumping area. I don't know if you can put some trees on it so nobody can do anything, or try to do something.
Well, right along 7th Terrace, in between 109th Avenue and probably 112th, people were parking in the swale.
I have question.
And that dumping that is occurring in that area was occurring in the swale. And when the garbage company would come in with their grappling hooks to pick up that garbage and put it in their dump trucks, they would progressively dig out some of the grass and dirt in the swale, causing some very large mud holes and puddles. So we took it upon ourselves to go ahead and put up about 6 or 7 no parking in the grass signs along there, and subsequently created that particular area there that says no parking, and instructed the manager of the association for that building that that was to be the site for that particular condominium or apartment building to put their garbage for collection out on Sunday nights, so that the bulk waste pickup would occur on Monday morning. Now, the problem
have become, you know,
The problem that
illegal
is
dumping.
occurring is that we
Everybody's
have
just dumping.
people, yes, and it's citywide. In other words, people will come out from other municipalities and dump here. They're familiar with our schedule and
Yeah,
know
they've
that we
seen
pick up
that,
every week.
It's no parking, that's where they dump and everything, and it's like, they pick up on Monday, they pass by there on Wednesday, and it's still full again.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation. I think the code compliance has to get involved here to some degree.
This is on 7th Street, Southwest 100, between 109th and 110, right across
Yeah.
from the new building.
Yes, absolutely. I know exactly where you're talking
And
about.
there's nothing else we can do, maybe we can put a sign, or we can put some trees or something.
Code enforcement last time, if I may, they set up basically a sting, and they had an operation going on there, and those are steep fines. It's not a,
Oh,
it's
they
not
are.
$100
They're-
fine.
No, they're thousands of dollars, yeah.
So we can talk to code enforcement, maybe they'll take care
You
of it.
wanna take a look at it, so
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can see how bad it looks?
Commissioner, I actually was thinking about that just a moment ago. I just didn't want to say it publicly and announce it to the world.
Well,
But,
maybe that way they won't even come.
I
They
think
know that we're
that's,
gonna be getting them.
That's probably the only way to go.
Oh my God.
And different cities have
That's
similar.
terrible.
Terrible, it is.
I
I mean, it's
explain
not
why.
just regular dumping. This
No,
is,
it's not regular dumping, no.
you can open a furniture store.
Forget it. Let me. I have question too. You finish,
Yes.
Mr. Alan?
Yes.
Why? What? ¿Por qué? Before I move another truck, let me see how the position cancel the company for collateral. I'm now different. I talked to Ghislaine, maybe change. For fin. I'll wait. Why another truck is not move for collect when different time? Who, before I talked to Jenny say, yeah, go ahead truck. Now no.
Are you referring to picking up bulk
Who
waste?
say no?
Bulk waste that Pro Waste does not pick up?
Jenny say it's impossible in this moment. Why?
Because it's not the city's responsibility to pick up.
And maybe
somebody's
you and Mayor
garbage.
say no, no move, only I move, no you.
Well, look, there's a city ordinance that says
Mr. Please. Déjeme decirle porque me están llamando mucho en el pueblo. Anteriormente existía un camión que nos queda a nosotros. Por cosa del estilo, vamos a poner el malcriadé de mi pueblo. Recogieron el lunes y el martes puso una basura. Esa basura no va a estar toda. Yo antes llamaba a Jenny o lo llamaba a él y ese camión venía y lo recogía. En estos momentos yo no puedo mover el camión si no lo ordena el señor alcalde. Está creando situación difícil en la ciudad.
If I can, I think what happened before, I think we might be able to do it again. Waste Management provided us with a big container that we had in the lot.
Thank you.
And any waste that came up that wasn't normal days, somebody came and dumped something, then we would go get it with our truck and put it in that container, and they would take it away for free.
I will raise this.
I have
with-
question.
Wait, how did they?
I know, I have question.
I'm trying to answer this. I will raise this with the mayor tomorrow. I will say we are remarkably thin-staffed as a result of 2 waves of layoffs. I don't know that we have the finances to be able to run the truck at will, as this would require, but I will raise it with the mayor tomorrow.
I round the city every time. I say to you, in this moment, Jennifer is impossible to move the truck. This order is coming the mayor. En estos momentos, Jenny no puede mover ese camión si no lo ordena el mayor. Por favor, vamos a suavizar para poder resolver la salud,
Como
la
yo le acabo de
ciudad.
decir al comisionado Berguiñán en inglés, se lo repito en español, no existen las finanzas a este momento, después de 2 layoffs, no existen los
No le
empleados.
oigo, no le oigo.
No existen los empleados ni las finanzas a este momento a mover esos camiones y emplearlo en la manera tal deseada y tal expresada como usted dice. Simplemente después de 2 rondas de layoffs no tenemos los empleados ni tenemos los fondos para poder hacer eso.
O no del güey.
Pero yo voy a hablar con el alcalde mañana.
En una
sobre eso.
semana va a estar esperando el lunes que viene la basura tirada ahí. De otra forma, anteriormente, con mucho respeto, abogado, yo llamaba a Jenny o llamaba a Alan y ese camión que está allí, una persona nada más, no tiene que venir 3. Venía y recogía estas cosas y limpiaba la otra y se veía linda. Ahora no tiene que estar una semana porque no puede mover ese camión, dice ella, yo no puedo mover. Orden del alcalde que no puedo moverlo. es él que da la orden.
El alcalde hace lo que se puede hacer con los
Sí,
fondos
mío,
proveídos
sí.
por esta comisión.
Pero-
Pero desafortunadamente no existen los fondos a este momento actual.
Pero usted es un hombre inteligente, siempre hay una persona allí que puede traer el camión y recoger esa basura y no pasarse una semana allí.
Como yo le dije al comisionado Berguiñán, yo voy a hablar con el alcalde sobre esto mañana.
Por favor, ese camión que lo podemos ver ellos allá. Muchas gracias.
Ok.
Pero también tenemos que tener en cuenta que nosotros también tenemos que educar a los residentes, porque yo no creo que si nosotros le pagamos a una compañía de basura para que recoja la basura, tenemos que tener un empleado, dos empleados, un camión de mantenimiento haciendo lo mismo. Y yo sé que siempre se ha mandado a recoger, pero una cosita, alguien que se mudaba, pero es que ahora es constantemente.
Un inspector viene y le pone una multa de $500 porque no puedo sacarlo. Ya, resuelto.
Yo tampoco estoy de acuerdo en que tengamos que tener disponibles camiones de mantenimiento para recoger la basura.
Me hay.
No, espera, que yo también.
Sí, yo también. Me
Para
hay.
recoger la basura, estamos
No,
haciendo
para
doble
meter
trabajo, entonces no necesitamos una compañía de basura.
No, con mucho respeto. La compañía de basura está haciendo su trabajo, pero viene el lunes.
La gente ha cogido confianza.
Pero necesariamente, yo tuve 15 años allí, Solina. Y necesariamente la ciudad tiene que ayudar a estar limpia, que se vea limpia. Y de otra forma, si viene el lunes y te lo ponen el martes, por capricho de un dueño que lo puso afuera, no puede estar 5 días afuera, Isolina.
No se le puede-
Tenemos la ciudad que nos ayuda en eso y cooperamos, porque la ciudad tiene que hacer algo, no solamente hacer aceras.
Okay, Commissioner Suarez, you want to say something?
Yes, Alan, I have a question. You said here that the drain top was missing.
Yes.
And then I went to the next picture, finding the solution, and the solution was a pallet.
Well,
A wooden pallet.
that
You're supposed to have a cast iron lid.
Yeah. In these austere times, I thought that we would replace it with a pallet. Now, what happened was I got a call from Commissioner Maronio about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night on a Friday, and no time to buy a grill, no place to buy one at that time. So rather than leave it open, I sent one of
By the
my,
way, I'm happy to somebody come in and do this.
yeah, I sent one of my standby.
This is temporary.
Yes, very temporary.
I know.
Well, you know that there is nothing more permanent than what is called temporary.
Well, I'm happy to announce that the very next morning we went over there.
Ay, Alan.
About 10 feet down in the drain, we found the grill.
Through the chair, allow me
Yes, sir, go ahead.
one more minute.
Yes, sir.
You know the story about the university student who's going to start in the university and goes into his dormitory, and then the bed has a missing leg. So he doesn't have time to go to Home Depot or whatever, or Lowe's, and he get a stack of those reference books and put them on the leg as a leg, you know?
Yes.
So he can sleep horizontally. 4 years until Saturday that he can go to Home Depot. 4 years later, he graduated. The books were still there.
Well, I'm happy to announce that the very next day we sent our guys over there and they found the grill in the bottom of the sink basin, of the catch basin.
I finally removed the books.
You graduated, all right.
Yeah, it was in regards to the garbage that Commissioner Duasso speaks of, I think it's unfair also to blame the company that picks up the garbage. I mean, they do a great job of going out there and picking up piles that are way beyond the limit that they're supposed to be picking up. So they do help out. They go out of their way.
If I can, I don't think it's so much, the complaint here is, I think from everybody, what we're hearing is that there's people that come and dump, that's number one. It's not only the people that are residents, but unfortunately, they're gonna have to pay the price for the people that dump in front of their house, and a lot of times it is, especially in apartments where they move out. And I see it as a responsibility of the city to pick up that garbage one way or another. It's kind of like the people that are responsible for a swale. I gotta cut the grass in my swale, which isn't mine, but I gotta maintain it. Whether I like it or not, I gotta pick it up. Just like an officer has to go to 500 phone calls at the same house, even though he knows there's nothing there or whatever, he's gotta go every time.
Well,
and it's our responsibility to do it, so I think if everybody works together, we'll figure it out.
In many instances, though, it's not outside, it's the homeowner that dumps a huge pile out there.
When they move.
And even when it's, you know, on a Monday pickup day, but it far exceeds the limit, which is 6 cubic yards, that the garbage company will pick up. and we have somebody, Yaima Vega, goes out there and speaks to the homeowner and lets them know, informs them of the quantity that they're allowed to put out. But they continue to do it. And for the, I mean, I personally think it's not very equitable to have the city send personnel out there to pick up their garbage. If a homeowner calls me and says, hey, listen, I'd like my house painted, are we supposed to go out and paint their house as well? I mean, the person that puts out garbage that wants it
there's
picked
certain
up is
things,
using
it's a totally different
taxes.
Picking up the garbage or picking something in the middle of the road, a dead dog, anything like
Well,
that.
that we
we don't
do.
like it, we don't want it.
Yeah.
It could have been somebody else's fault, but we have the responsibility to. We care about our city, and we live here, and we need to take care of it. We worry about the other issue later, or ticket the person, or
Yeah,
whatever. But let's go pick it up.
And I
one
think
way or
that's what
another.
I'm getting at. I mean, in other words, this is going to be a continuous problem
Right.
forever and ever,
It
unless we
slowed
begin
down a lot when we
to
started giving
ticket.
out big fines.
Yes,
and what
absolutely.
Mr.
I have
Ventura
a
just said
question.
earlier.
I have a question, Mr. President.
Okay, but we gotta go, sir. Come on.
No, for you. This is impossible.
Lucky me.
All day in this area, Agora is you are trapped. We say no have any. But maybe 1 or 2 hours. In different time, take it and see. Why no?
The garbage?
The garbage, but I don't know what he say mayor. Say to the mayor, maybe say different now. When they talk to Jennifer, beautiful lady, taking 2 or 3 different times, taking no week, but not every day, 8 hours. You don't have any person.
We have. I mean,
You
we
have,
on
you
many,
have.
On many occasions, we have gone out and picked up the garbage. On many occasions.
My question is that you have one
we
person
just
sometime.
don't have the personnel to go
No
out
every
there
day,
on a
but you have
daily
one
basis
person.
to do it.
Another way, I go to the maintenance to
Okay,
check.
vamos a-
No, right, estoy right.
Una cosita, también todas las personas que estén viendo, también yo creo que como dije ahorita, los residentes tienen que cooperar, porque si a mí alguien llega y me tira cosas frente de mi casa, lo primerito que yo hago es hacer un reporte de policía, esa basura no es mía, me la tiraron. Si todo el mundo hiciera eso, porque no siguen diciendo más que están trayendo basura de afuera. No, pues
No,
vi que
yo no
trajeron
digo
basura
traen de
de
afuera.
Sí, pero muchos dicen que te trajeron basura de afuera. Repórtalo, haz un reporte.
En años anteriores.
Y ya pondremos a alguien a vigilar.
Yo recorro la ciudad todos los días. Y estoy sentado ahí adelante 4 y 5 horas en la ciudad. Y yo sí sé de esa recogida de basura. La necesidad que tiene, perdóname, la ciudad que tiene la necesidad de que esté limpia y que la gente que viene afuera no. Por ese camión adicional que quizás nuestro abogado hable con el alcalde y le dé mano izquierda a Jennifer para que Jenny cualquier cosa que haya la pueda recoger.
El abogado
No, ahora hay que
también.
llamar al alcalde. Para que el alcalde diga
El
sí.
abogado está sentado aquí al lado de Carmita. Yo solamente soy el jefe de despacho ahora.
To the chair,
Okay.
very quick before you leave, about this situation on the street, what can we do about it?
On
Just
7th
quick.
Terrace?
Yes, no,
On
7th
7th Street,
Street,
yes,
on
7th
7th Street.
Yeah,
What would be
listen,
the-
I will absolutely be happy to put up some signs.
I
in,
appreciate it because it's getting bad.
It's marked no parking. I will also put no dumping
No
signs
dumping,
on there.
at least something, to see if it helps.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd be
thank
happy
you.
to do so.
Okay, thank you.
I check your pickup and take everything.
My personal
And
pickup?
sometimes those 2 people in the pick up. I run to the city. Sometimes Coca-Cola, paper, everything. And no look. I check. When you say around the city, take everything. I check.
No problem.
And
Okay.
you're responsible.
Let's move on.
It's your responsibility. Yeah?
Okay.
No, it's okay.
Item D, city attorney report.
Just very quickly, Mr. Vice President, it's a couple of matters that the police chief and I will be addressing in the very near future. One of them is the horse. I think we have some information and we have some. We're developing some options to present the commission. The other matter is, if you recall, some time ago, the matter of Officer Toledo. We hope to actually bring you some closure to that issue that remains open. Finally, today, I received the final documents that I will be submitting Mr. Toledo's counsel. So we hope to have something for you in the near future. That's all I have right now.
Great.
Mayor's report or commissioner report?
Okay, mayor's not here.
Commissioner report.
Okay, commissioner's report.
Please to the floor. To the chair. I'm sorry, I have the floor. Yeah, okay.
I'll go back.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Okay, I'm gonna say this in Spanish because I know they're waiting for me to say something. Hoy he recibido numerosas llamadas de residentes aquí de la edad avanzada que tienen un gran
Ahí está el abogado, que
problema,
no se vaya, perdón, el abogado que no se vaya.
un gran problema con la distribución de las bolsas de comida. Han recibido aparentemente una carta donde dice que no se le puede entregar más a sus viviendas y que tienen que ir personalmente a buscarla. Yo hablé aquí con el city staff, el chief of staff, y él me indicó que el farm share dice que es ilegal que se reparta las bolsas a los residentes en sus casas.
Eso es lo que tengo entendido, sí.
Entonces queremos ver si podemos hacer algo para resolver este problema porque es crítico. Hay personas que no pueden ni tan siquiera moverse, otras están media ciegas, otras tienen las enfermeras que me las pusieron en el teléfono para que hablara con ellos. A ver si entre todos podemos llegar a hacer algo. Yo sé que si hay algún tipo de que se pueda, por el momento, ahora en el momento que se están repartiendo, alguna decisión, algo que se pueda hacer con un voluntario que pueda llevarlo a través de un power attorney o una carga que usted me dijo que me iba a entregar hoy.
To the chair.
Wait.
English or Spanish?
Bueno, en Spanish para que oigan los residentes que son los que están atormentados con esta situación.
Por muchos años, parte bajo la administración de Díaz, de López, Díaz, Maronio, Díaz y creo que Banco también, se repartieron las bolsas. Aparentemente, eso es en violación de las reglas de farm share. Es decir, que esto no es un delito criminal ni nada, pero simplemente el programa, como todos los programas federales y estatales, tienen ciertas regulaciones. Y la idea es tal: uno va y recoge las paletas de la comida y se trae aquí a la ciudad. Si se va a repartir, FarmShare quiere que esas paletas y esa comida se preserva en una manera controlada. Si se ponen en automóviles para repartir, y vamos a suponer que toma 2 horas a repartir, el primero que se entrega, lo más probable es que tarda más bien, sin problema ninguno. Pero después de 2 o 3 horas, especialmente en el verano, en junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, cuando hace calor, si están en la capota del carro, es muy posible que ya no estén en condición sanitaria. Es por tanto que FarmShare impone este reglamento. Ahora, existe una excepción y una excepción a la excepción, que llega al punto suyo, comisionada. La excepción es con personas deshabilitadas que pueden llenar un formulario, un poder, dándole a un amigo, un conocido, un pariente, el poder de recoger las bolsas. Lo estamos investigando, pero desafortunadamente de lo que me han dicho es que la persona tiene que presentarse en persona para llenar ese formulario. Vamos a ver mañana si eso es necesario, en la manera que se puede corregir, porque eso todavía presenta un impedimento a ciertas personas que no pueden, que están deshabilitadas y no pueden salir de la casa. La administración reconoce que esto es sumamente importante, pero también para preservar la integridad del programa y preservar la habilidad de la ciudad a recibir esta comida y estos beneficios para nuestros residentes, es necesario asegurar que las bolsas sean repartidas de una manera consistente con las regulaciones del Estado.
Cuando termine ya me da la palabra.
En esto sí yo tengo experiencia, porque yo lo he hecho como por 15 años,
Tenemos.
20 años voluntariamente y conjuntamente.
Tenemos.
Nunca hubo ningún problema. Yo he ido a Homestead cuando se dan los meetings y no es ilegal que uno reparta a una persona que esté enferma, que se le lleve a la casa mientras que esté la firma y todo. La comisionada del año fue una de las personas que dijo que era que una resolución que tú pusiste, no sé por qué ahora está tan asombrada, de que no deberían los oficiales electos hacer ese tipo de trabajo. Y cuando llegó desafortunadamente la administración del alcalde interino José Díaz, él fue el primero que quitó eso para que yo lo siguiera haciendo. De ahí para acá ha sido un desastre. Yo lo hacía con mi carro, sin cobrar, con mucho gusto, y yo sabía qué persona se le daba y nunca hubo ningún problema.
En nuestro
Ni
carro.
Ni se echó a perder una comida, ni hubo complaint, ni nada. Hasta que Díaz lo tomó político y dijo que eso era, que estábamos comprando votos, no sé qué, y muchos de ustedes lo secundaron, incluyendo la comisionada Yaño, que después hizo una resolución acerca de eso, que no debería ser. Yo con mucho gusto lo hice y lo seguiría haciendo. Ahora, yo lo que no quiero es estar en conflicto de hacer cosas contrarias a lo que los comisionados decían.
Yo no he leído la ley en este tema. Solamente estoy pasando lo que me han informado a mí nuestros empleados encargados de esto y que han ido al entrenamiento de FarmShare. Si ustedes desean, con mucho gusto, yo reviso la ley yo mismo para llegar a una conclusión. Quizás nuestro abogado nos puede dar una opinión legal si eso es necesario o no así.
Otra cosita. También hay muchos comisionados que no lo pueden hacer, no tienen tiempo, no quieren o no les gusta, y tampoco por eso tienen que castigar a los que sí pudimos y sí quisimos y sí lo quisimos.
Espera un momentico, ahora voy a hablar yo.
Está bien, coge.
Parece mentira que ustedes se pongan ahora con esto, a echarle aquí a todo el mundo, que usted escribió una carta diciendo que a los comisionados de aquí no le importaba, incluyéndome a mí. Y de que yo había venido a esta ciudad, a mí me importaba a todo el mundo, yo me he metido a todas horas. Espera, me dejas hablar a mí ahora.
¿Tú me has ayudado?
¿Ok? La cosa es que todo el mundo sabe bien que había un enredo, y no te estoy diciendo que fue usted, pero había un enredo y había unos problemas aquí en otras ciudades con las boletas ausentes y con el problema de las habas.
Absolutamente nada que ver una cosa con la otra.
Claro que sí. Aquí todos somos un poquito adultos y sabemos bien que cuando uno va a llevar a la cajavita, la persona esa se tiene en el deber de, porque no le importa tanto el voto, le importa las habitas. Igual que a personas que le estaban cobrando un peso y 2 pesos. Espera, ahora me tiene que dejar hablar.
Eso no es verdad.
Sí era verdad. Porque aquí vinieron las personas que todo el mundo se asombró que le estaban cobrando 1 peso y 2 pesos a los viejitos para darle las habitas.
Eso fue solamente en el.
Pero solamente no, son como 200 personas que viven ahí.
No tuvo nada que ver conmigo y eso le cobraban para llevarse.
Lo primero que te dije fue que yo no estoy acusando a usted de nada. Pero tiene que tener cuidado cuando usted le echa a todos los comisionados. Ya ha escrito una carta contra mí y contra otros comisionados
¿Dónde
aquí.
está la carta? Yo no he escrito una carta contra usted.
Usted misma me la mandó, me la puso en el correo aquí de la ciudad.
No, lo que
en
yo
el
dije,
buzón mío.
No, usted lo interpretó mal. Yo dije que la comisionada Yaño hizo una resolución diciendo que los comisionados no deberían repartir cartuchos.
Usted dijo que Bequiñay y los 3 o 4 que éramos
aprobaron
nosotros,
lo que ella puso.
sí,
Eso
que
sí es
nosotros
verdad.
no nos importaba la ciudad, no importaba. Y hasta hoy yo no he dicho nada.
Todo
Pero no venga ahora con
la
esa cosa de que aquí.
La resolución pasó porque ustedes la aprobaron, si no, no
Porque
pasó.
nosotros vimos un conflicto de las boletas ausentes y con eso.
Pero ahora, después de
Bueno,
20 años.
ahora fue que ella está trayendo eso por otra cosa.
Después de 20 años.
No, la boleta ausente viene hace
La
más.
razón por que yo puse la resolución, porque los 3 meses que caminé puerta por puerta, muchas personas me dijeron que se sentían obligadas porque recibían esas bolsas de alimentos. Entonces dije que se estaba produciendo una cosa política, lo cual no se debería hacer. Y para evitar ese conflicto, y no señalé a nadie,
con permiso,
podíamos entonces
Tengo el piso.
evitar que ningún comisionado fuera partícipe de esa distribución o alguna persona que estuviera haciendo campaña para no hacer político.
Un momentico, déjame terminar
Es
ya.
el asunto de las bolsas. Por eso fue que yo puse resolución, pero en ningún momento para castigar a los residentes que no reciban su bolsa a su casa. Porque si hubiera sido lo contrario, no me hubieran llamado tantas personas hoy a pedirme de favor que resolvemos el que no pueden ir a recoger las bolsas. Y ahí está el Chief of Staff Ventura, que yo tuve que llamarlo a él para pedirle ayuda para que me dijera qué se podía hacer.
Commissioner Duazo, espera,
I have the floor.
Él me está pidiendo.
I have the floor. Señor abogado,
ver.
Usted dice que cuando esa mercancía está con nosotros en el carro que se reparte en el día, se deteriora.
No, yo no dije eso.
¿No dice usted?
Ellos están preocupados, el furniture está preocupado que
no,
eso pase.
Pero yo no he terminado. Para que entiendan. Yo personalmente, en realidad, Rafael Ventura, no me importa nada de quién reparta las habas.
Pero ellos no se preocupan. Ellos no se preocupan.
Pero
Perdón.
le di-
Tengo el piso. Ellos
Diga,
no se
diga.
preocupan. Cuando esa mercancía viene del camión y se pasa 2 y 3, 4 horas en el camión, ellos no se preocupan por eso. Se preocupan porque se vaya porque está 2 horas, 3 horas. Quiero decirle que no es fácil repartir eso. No es fácil. El que piensa que eso es fácil está equivocado, porque ella y yo repartimos mucho y nos pasábamos un tiempo, 2 días casi para repartir. ¿Alrededor de cuántas?
180 y más el edificio.
Más el edificio, ¿sabe?
Lo
Pero
último-
ellos sí tienen que pensar que en el camión se deteriora porque lleva muchas horas en el camión.
Lo último que me faltó una cosita.
dilo.
Comisionado Duazo, yo tengo entendido que usted caminó casi todas las casas con la comisionada Yaño.
Sí.
¿Las personas que le dieron los complaints son las mismas personas que nosotros le llevamos los cartuchos?
Casi la mayoría.
Pero que decían que
La mayoría, yo sé. Mire, no vamos a caer en ese detalle, ese es un pasado. Vamos a resolver el problema. Que ahí tiene usted al abogado que es el que manda en la ciudad conjuntamente con el alcalde. Vamos a resolver ese problema a nuestros ciudadanos. A nuestros ciudadanos.
Ok, ya.
Y las llamadas que yo he recibido son muchas también, pero yo me callo.
Vamos ya, vamos a terminar
Cuando
aquí,
día se
caballo.
repartían los cartuchos por lista de votantes.
Pero ahora
Oye,
los otros
vamos a
alcaldes
dejarlo
nunca
ya,
han
por favor.
los otros alcaldes nunca han considerado esto. El único que ha considerado esto es el señor Ventura con el alcalde nuestro ahora.
Ya, Eduardo, ya, vamos a acabar. Gracias. Ok. Vamos. Elderly Services Program Report.
Hello, Commissioner
Oh,
report.
Commissioner Suarez.
Please,
Go ahead.
through the
I'm
chair.
sorry.
Don't go away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to have to move this ahead of the schedule because by the time I have the good news that I am going to give today, there's very few people here. Almost everybody's gone.
Okay, give it. You
You want to hear the
Go ahead.
want
We
to
need
hear
good news.
the want to hear the good news?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, through the effort of Robert Herrada, who was given the action item about the 2 mailboxes on a resolution that passed about 3 or 4 meetings ago, we have finally our first mailbox, the blue ones, outside the senior center on 106th Avenue, just south of 4th Street.
Right.
By the angle parking on 106th Avenue, by the door to get into the senior center. I would like to ask Mr. Ventura
Yes, sir.
to contact the mayor to see if we can promote that through the city by whatever means
Commissioner,
available
we
we
will be
have.
more than happy to have Claudia Miro look into this and promote it on our website and on our television channel.
Website, television,
I will
even if
personally-
you have to put a piece of paper on the lobby glass there.
I will personally speak to Claudia tomorrow and make this an action item for you.
You know where it's located, right? And Claudia knows exactly where the.
Robert knows where it's
Robert
located.
knows.
I don't know anything here without
Yeah,
Robert.
The thing is that if the post office notice that very low usage of that mailbox, they will take it away.
All right.
So please promote to all the citizens, and we have a second mailbox in the works that Robert is working on it. Thank you, Robert. For the Mascanosa Center, hopefully we're gonna have another one there.
That's great news, Commissioner.
At least we
I
had a
needed
good.
it the other day. I had to wait till morning to go to.
By the way, it's picked up at 9 o'clock every day from Monday through Friday.
Y por la noche, ¿no? A las 6.
No, only at 9 o'clock. That's what the label says on the mailbox. Yeah, 9
Just a
a.m.
quick question, so we can finish this, wrap it up. Sir, what would be the thing for us, to handle this situation with these elderly people? I mean, it really
The
breaking.
first requirement, I think, and I just received a text message from the mayor, is to get a legal opinion as to what we actually can and cannot do. So I'll be sending Mr. Quadra a request for a legal opinion tomorrow, but he's got it right now.
I'll go ahead and contact Farm Share and
Find out
get
what
back
the
to you.
regulations.
Through the chair, Madam Chair, I like to say the same thing in Spanish since we have so many Spanish speaking, so it's gonna be the same thing.
Commissioner, if I may for just one moment follow up on this, I would like everybody to know that it is actually much more difficult for administration employees or city employees to enforce this rule than it would be simply to have them deliver it. The complaints that I get from our staff about having to do this make it, unpalatable for them. They would rather go out and deliver it. But this is our understanding of what the law is, but we'll find out what tomorrow is. I'm sorry I took the floor from you, sir.
Yo quiero informarle en español a la ciudadanía de habla castellana de la ciudad de Sweetwater que tenemos finalmente un buzón de correos de los azules en el Senior Center en la 106 Avenida entre la 4 y la 3 calle, donde está el parqueo en ángulo en la 106 Avenida para el Senior Center. Esto ha sido hecho con los esfuerzos de Robert Herrada y una resolución que pasamos aquí en la comisión que yo propuse. Tenemos otro segundo otro segundo buzón de correo que va a ir para el Mascanosa Center. Hopefully, esperamos tenerlos pronto. Y una petición que les hago es que los que se beneficien de ese buzón, úsenlo, por favor. Si el correo ve que no lo usan o que se usa muy poco, se lo van a llevar.
Se lo llevan.
So, muchas gracias y espero que les sirva de algo.
A la boleta ausente.
If I may, through the chair, as part of the Senior Center report, I'm proud to announce that as part of an interdepartmental initiative, I spoke to the police to come do something. As you know, I bring up a variety of different guests at the Senior Center all the time, and I was telling the police, hey, come do some crime prevention stuff every now and then over at the Senior Center. I spoke to the right guy, Manny Saavedra, and he gladly obliged. This was a last-minute thing. We kind of planned it out last Friday, that and some pastelito. If anybody wants to pass by the Senior Center tomorrow morning, we will have crime prevention, flamenco, and pastele. A possibly explosive opportunity.
You're gonna dance.
No, I'm gonna eat the pasteles. Yeah. Exactly. It is tomorrow morning. Sorry about the short notice. You guys know that I give ample notice, but anyhow, and also for any seniors in the community who may need legal help, there is a legal line. I received this with Alliance for Aging that may possibly have help for seniors. Lo repito en español, que hay una línea legal que posiblemente para personas mayores de edad que ofrezca ayuda gratuita. Cualquier pregunta me llaman a mí, Roberto Herrada, 305-525-0594, que es mi celular. Gracias.
Awesome. Okay.
Say something about the distribution of the tax.
I'm
You were gonna say something, you interrupted.
No, I was just gonna go ahead and follow up with Farmshare and get a determination from them and see what options we got.
Okay, item G, Elderly Services Program Report, Special Projects Report, we have nothing, Building and Zoning Report, I think we had it in writing, Finance Report, City Clerk Report, nothing, Carmen?
No.
Sure. Human Sources Report, Unfinished Business, New Business, Good of the Order, and Adjournment, moved by Commissioner Barreto, second by Commissioner Maronio, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much, thank you for your patience.
You're welcome.
We're doing our best.